Oh, you dumped it. Nobody heard it?
Nobody heard it. Well,
okay,
you might have just heard a glitch on your end, but on our end, it sounded really confusing for a second there. All right, so we have a Bar Car Friday. It is a tradition unlike any other. We are going to be drinking some Japanese whiskey today, boys.
Unless another has taken the same idea and ran with it.
Yeah. See, that does happen around here, it seems often.
You know what I love about Tony Kanja?
What's that?
We were talking about like Japanese whiskey and special Japanese whiskeys yesterday. And then all of a sudden last night we get the text, hey, we're doing Japanese whiskey tomorrow.
Yes.
Dude, I know. Yeah. So the Toronto Blue Jays pitcher, and I'm going to screw it up, but I believe it's Kokomo.
Yeah, Kokomo.
Kaizo.
It's Kokomo Spirit?
No. I forget his name, but I'll look it up again. Kazuki, I believe it might be.
You know what? You could say any name and I wouldn't remember. So I'd go, yeah, that's right.
So he started a tradition after a successful game where he starts, he shares an older Japanese whiskey with his teammates. And I mean, the dollar amount on this thing is like $3,000 a bottle. So every game that he starts, he's pouring a shot for all of his teammates.
Starts and wins.
Yeah,
wins the game.
So you figure about 20 games this year, maybe a little more than that. The Blue Jays are going to be cracking a bottle and sipping on some expensive hooch. Well, Tony Kanja, avid listener of Big Rich, TD, and Fletch, decided, I'm going to get the boys some Japanese whiskey. So LHK Spirits are coming in. We're going to have a little Kaio aged single malt whiskey coming in.
Whiskey?
Yeah, whiskey.
Right on.
I'm pumped about it. I think this is the first Japanese whiskey we've done.
Pretty sure.
For a Bar Car Friday, and I love Japanese whiskeys.
We're also going to experiment with their cognac, which obviously is French spirit, but same with the Japanese whiskeys. Most of them taste like scotches, even though you can't call it scotch because you can only call whiskey scotch if it's made in Scotland.
Right.
Same thing with
the tape.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Otherwise, it's just tape.
Yeah, that's right.
Can't call it Scotch tape if it isn't from Scotland.
That's correct. That's correct.
Yeah. So we're gonna also play with a cognac. I guess we're gonna have a bunch of cocktails using the XL cognac from Kaio. I am totally pumped about all this.
Bring it on.
This is gonna be very cool. So looking forward to that in the 8 o'clock hour. Again, Keg and Bottle, 10 locations around San Diego. So if you're looking for some Kaio Japanese whiskey after you see all the tasting we're doing, go ahead and get you a bottle.
Yeah, in the 7 o'clock hour, we have comedian Ken Flores joining us. Very funny guy there, as well as we do have tickets to give away, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Same. Oh, is it all in here? Okay, hang on. Wonderfront Music and Arts Festival tickets. That's good because I set up a push notification at 7:30. And then I thought, maybe we don't have those.
So if you're an app listener and you're tuning in at 7:30, you're in luck because we actually do.
Yeah.
Wonderfront tickets. Are we doing that every hour? We are. So yesterday we started this. We're going to do it again today. Every hour we have a pair of tickets to Sunday's show at Wonderfront. That's the show that Beck's going to be playing at. We're super pumped to give those out. Also Lakeside Rodeo tickets, also San Diego Strike Force tickets, all of that coming up in the show. We should start from the start. The Padres, they're coming off of multiple winning series now. That feels good. They performed extremely well on the road through 2 series, one against a division rival, one against a Brewers team that had 10 wins walking in the doors in Milwaukee, and they leave with a winning record. Where's the pulse check on Padres fans in San Diego? Because I'm riding high, and all of a sudden I'm sort of feeling like I'm starting to understand the identity of this team. It feels like kind of a gritty team that finds a way to win all of a sudden.
Well, it's kind of uncharted territory if you've been a Padre fan for the past year and plus or so, I guess, because you're getting a little bit of a comfort level. Like you feel like, okay, they can win games. They can win games from their behinds, of course, when they're behind. They can put runs on the board if they need to, although there's been some games where you went, all you needed was 2.
Wait, so you're saying if you became a Padre fan out of nowhere, like right before last season, and you've watched them until through to current day, your thought process is like in this less than a year and a half gap, this is the experience you'd be having right
Well,
now?
I'm saying from last season where I had no comfort level.
Mm.
Now all of a sudden, 21 games in, I guess that's where we're at. All of a sudden, I have a little bit of comfort level with them. Like I did not have this feeling last year. I never felt comfortable that they were going to be able to go on some sort of winning streak. So, you know what? It's not a huge streak. I'm going to say it's a streak with 3 winning series, but I feel like they can continue it.
I think I'm right there with you, TD. I really do. And I think that the offense is a big reason. Now, the concerns I have are health at this point, because think about what we have coming up this weekend. Friday, today, Matt Waldron's going to start. Then tomorrow, Yu Darvish is, not going to start.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's on the 15-day IL. So is it going to be a bullpen day? Did they move up the rotation since they had a day off yesterday? We don't really know what the Padres are setting up for, but I get concerned when I think about a guy who is as important as Yu Darvish not being available here at the early part of the season. And maybe this is just a blip in the radar and he's fine the rest of the year. And I sincerely hope that's the truth. But what if these injuries start to stack up? Because we see Darvish now on the IL. Jake Cronenworth is still a question mark for today. Kevin Acee seems to think he'll be back for today. And you're facing the Blue Jays, who now this series in the large scheme of things probably means nothing. You could lose 2 out of 3 and still be fine. But when you look at the Blue Jays and where they're coming from, the AL East is absolutely stacked this year. Toronto's in 4th place currently with a 10-9 record.
Yeah. I mean, look, again, the same thing we could say about the Blue Jays, we could say about the Brewers in terms of they've been pretty good this season so far, but so have the Padres.
Mhm.
You know, I don't want to underrate what they've done this season because of what we saw last season, because teams are different year to year. I remember one of the things that I was told especially when I got to the NFL, is like, forget what we did last season. None of that matters. And it's because so much flux and so much change happens year over year. And especially a year like this for the Padres. I mean, we're looking at a completely different manager in the dugout, a couple of new faces in terms of the coaching staff, a new feel in the front office, because I think for the first time, we really feel like AJ Preller's back's against the wall. The owner unfortunately passed away this offseason in November. You have a situation where many of the faces, and I mean important faces around the lineup and the pitching staff, are brand new to the team. And I guess you could say that every year, but this year it feels like more change has been made. Like we're really catching up to get to know these guys a lot more so than we were a year ago, because after having a successful run, you don't want to make a whole lot of changes. But after having an unsuccessful season, where even though you finished with a winning record, 82 wins last year, you still want to make some changes. And the Padres definitely have. Some of those by force of, hey, we need to make changes, some for the positive, and some of them because they wanted to cut payroll.
Mm-hmm.
And so we come into the season really uneasy about what we're going to see. And so far, early results are this is a resilient ball club. This is a much better offense and much more clutch offense than we were used to seeing last year. And some of those statistical anomalies that seemed to happen on an evening basis with the Padres last year have dissipated.
To this point, Fernando looks like Fernando, which is great to see. Manny Machado is starting to look like Manny Machado at the plate. Ha-Seong Kim seems to have taken a step forward in terms of power and contact. Jake Cronenworth barreling the ball at as high a rate as anybody in baseball right now.
Xander Bogaerts needs a standing no.
Xander Bogaerts, look, he has the ire of Padres Twitter right now. I think that's the right word.
Yeah, they're pissed.
So Mike Schilt talked about it a couple days ago, and I can go find the audio, but Mike Schilt was talking about, look, I think I'm going to trust a career that spanned 14, 15 years rather than a 20-game stretch. So Xander Bogaerts isn't going anywhere for you crazy people that want him sent down to the minors.
Yeah, but I mean, we said that last season about math. You know, math is still going to math.
Right, but
And it didn't math.
Xander Bogaerts' career, like 350 something on base percentage. Last year, he was around a 349 on base percentage. So, like last year, Xander Bogaerts wasn't necessarily the problem. Now, he wasn't great, but he wasn't bad either. If you look at that team, there was a lot of issues. This year, though, Xander Bogaerts has started off so cold. It's tough to watch. Marty Caswell caught up with him a couple days ago, and he said, yeah, I've played like trash. I'll get out of it. It's no big deal.
Yeah, well, okay. Listen, I trust a veteran when they talk about things like that. I really do. And I trust them until further notice. With Juan Soto, I think everybody was willing to extend that leash until we realized that his attitude may be part of the problem, right? Because he got parachuted in here from the Nationals after the Padres made that enormous trade at the deadline in 2022. And then in the postseason, he had some clutch moments. He helped the Padres win. And so I think there was some forgiveness that was extended to Juan Soto in that year. Then in 2023, it still seemed like Juan Soto hadn't found stride as a San Diego hitter. Like we weren't seeing the power numbers that he was touting when he was with the Washington Nationals. Arguably had one of his worst full seasons as a major league player, hard stop here in San Diego.
And he was still the best Padres hitter last year.
Well, his on-base percentage was great, but it was like I was getting a little tired, frankly, of like walk every single time the guy got to the plate without seeing any real like power numbers. But look, the reality of the situation was everybody had a down year on the roster. The problem came when you heard that negativity spewed from his mouth, and it was only really from him where you heard from Juan Soto that people in this clubhouse give up when the going gets tough.
Well, I mean, the things you think but do not say.
So but even then, like it's hard to fathom even thinking that way. Like I mean, don't like I can't really think that there were all that many moments throughout my NFL career where I was like, I give up.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not usually a part of the lexicon that is used inside of a locker room or inside of a clubhouse. Now, I mean, there's a reality to certain situations. Sometimes you're getting beat up and you wish there was a run rule because you're losing 8-0 in the bottom of the top of the 8th. And you're like, our bats are ice cold.
Yep.
This pitching staff has our number tonight. We just need to get out of here without getting hurt. Yeah, I get that. But like it came at the wrong time. It came from the wrong guy. And if Xander Bogaerts, for me, if he wants to stay in my good graces, keep answering questions like that. Like, hey, I know I'm going to pull out of this thing. I just got to keep working. I mean, if the reports are Xander's showing up early and staying late, if the reports are he's a good clubhouse guy, if the reports are he's doing everything in his power to get better, to get out of this slump, well, then he's got my support.
And that's exactly what's going on. He's talked about it a couple times now, comparing it to his August of last year, which was when he hit his skid, and Padres fans had exactly the same reaction they're having right now. And I don't necessarily think that phases him. Like when you think about Xander Bogaerts' career, he's a World Series winner with the Boston Red Sox. Like he was a critical part of that team. And as he moves forward here, I expect he's going to be good. Now, I don't love that he's batting leadoff for the Padres. In fact, I kind of hate it. Like I would probably move him around in the lineup here because he's never really been a leadoff hitter before in his career, much like he's never been a second baseman in his career. Mm-hmm. So all this change, all this adjustment, I think is leading to what's happening right now. I think that part of this is managerial. Like I would probably shift him around, and I also would like to see Fernando Tatis Jr. back in the leadoff spot, but that's just me.
Don't you have a little bit of faith though in Mike Shildt? I mean, have you?
I like him.
I like him too. In fact, where I had questions of, I wonder how this is going to work out, I've actually thought it's working out pretty good. I mean, this feels pretty good, everything he's working with here, because my expectations were not high of this team, and they are getting pushed up as they start to win here. So, I mean, if Mike Shildt is thinking, nah, we're going to keep him at the leadoff, I'm going to make some changes here, little tweaks. That's what's going to fix him. I kind of feel like I trusted Mike Shildt.
Looking forward to a couple of ticket giveaways. Remember, Lakeside Rodeo tickets, San Diego Strike Force tickets. We're going to be giving away one of those Wonderfront pairs. That's coming up this hour. Also, what's coming up later on tonight, we have NBA play-in action. We got the Chicago Bulls visiting Miami to play the Heat. That tips off at 4 p.m. tonight. Also, the Sacramento Kings, after defeating the Golden State Warriors, they now head to the Pelicans to earn entrance into the NBA postseason. The winners of those two games will be the bottom seeds in their given conferences. Out of college football, in the wake of 14 University of Colorado players entering the transfer portal this week, Buffalo's head coach Deion Sanders downplayed the notion that their departures will have significant impact on the team. He said, "We're good. I trust the recruiting team. I trust our coaches, and please have some faith in me. We good. We all right. We all right." We also have the Aztecs Fast Showcase coming up tomorrow afternoon at Snapdragon Stadium. Spring Football Showcase. It begins at 1 p.m. Gates open at noon. Parking available starting at 10 a.m. This event is free with registration. So grab yourself some more information at goaztecs.com. And we would be remiss if we didn't open the show with some incredible news that was passed along yesterday. John Schaefer, the host of John and Jim, the host of the Aztecs pre and post prior to becoming the halftime reporter or host for the Aztec basketball team. Of course, he's been on the football broadcast for many years. Our very own John Schaefer will now be the voice of the Aztecs football team.
Yeah.
In 2024.
Look, that breaking news was from yesterday.
That's right.
This is a clip we played back. But congrats, man. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome. Hats off. Well-deserved, fantastic individual. And finally, he's got something good to look forward to because from 3 to 6 every day, man.
Pretty bleak.
Yeah.
Pretty bleak. He's got to work with Jim Russell, who is, it's a fact. He is the worst.
We're
It's
having
been confirmed.
San Diego Fleet flashbacks here, aren't we, Richie? You and John in the booth together?
We've worked together many times. John and I have called every Holiday Bowl that has actually played here in San Diego for the past 7 years, I want to say. John and I have been in the booth for spring football professionally. We've been in the booth together many times in the past. We were a broadcast team for a lot of the pregame and post-game for the Aztecs. And we've hosted a show together on San Diego Sports 760, or the former Extra 1360. So I'm pumped to work with him again. He's one of the most talented broadcasters. If you've never heard him and you want to hear about Aztecs football or basketball, tune in between 3 and 6 on this station, and you will understand he is a diehard. This guy, he knows these teams better than anybody in this city. He conveys that adoration for these programs seamlessly. It's almost like it's baked into his DNA. So I can't wait to be on the call with him. I'm pumped for him. He's a better guy than he is a broadcaster, and he's a hell of a broadcaster. So it speaks to the type of person he is. So congrats to John Schaefer.
Yeah, no doubt. I'm very happy. Very, very happy. I saw that there was a special announcement coming yesterday and went, wait, what? Are we supposed to know something? Did I miss an email? So it's very cool. I'm very excited. Also, guys, don't let me forget, I did put some cures in the freezer.
Yeah, that's good to know.
Yeah, I don't want to forget them.
I was listening yesterday when John and Jim made the announcement, and John's been on the East Coast. He's visiting some family. So he called in to the John and Jim show as a guest. And it was cool to hear what John was saying, because he said the first thing that happened when all this got figured out was Ted Leitner sent him a text and said, congratulations, John, you are the man for the job, blah, blah, blah. And I think it's a totally classy move. Like, this is not, we're not saying goodbye to Ted. He's still going to be part of everything. He's going to be on the basketball broadcast next year. And I think this is a very cool moment in time where John Schaefer, who's been working his ass off to get to this point for so many years, gets to bear the fruits of his labor, and he gets to join the booth with Rich Orenberger, who you guys have done such a great job on those calls. I was running the board for those Fleet games. You guys are awesome together.
Yeah, I'm pumped to work with John. I'd be remiss if I didn't extend my sincerest gratitude to Ted Leitner for teaching me how to be a color analyst. I didn't know the job outside of listening to great people do that type of work in the past, whether it be on TV broadcasts or radio broadcasts that I'd listened to. I never thought I would be a color analyst. I never thought that was going to be a path that I would choose in my life. So it wasn't an overarching goal in my life. But when it was offered to me, I was like, I wonder what that looks like. Yeah, I'll do that for a year. I'll try it out. And because I got to work with a guy like Ted Leitner, I fell in love with it because of the character that he is and the character that he has. He was such a gracious teacher. He was such a fun person to be around. And even in, these later years of his life, he's such an enthusiastic supporter of these programs. Like, he truly does care. What you see is what you get with Ted Leitner. And what you see is a guy who's been on the call for nearly 40 years now, who loves these players, who loves this city, who's dedicated his life to this craft. And what you get in terms of what I got was a life's worth of education, because in between those breaks, when we go to commercials and it's just me and Ted chatting, or when we get on those planes and buses with the team and we have an opportunity to, trade stories about our lives and the things that we've done, I've learned about one of truly the most unique and fun and entertaining and caring human beings I've ever been around. And so, Teddy, I love you. You know that. I don't have to say that on the air. And congratulations on a wonderful career calling football games. Like Fletch just said, he's going to be on the call for the basketball games this year. So if you're going to miss Ted Leitner, you'll still get your fix. He's going to be down there at Viejas Arena, calling the game for Dutch and the boys out there. And so totally pumped for him there, but also very excited for John Schaefer.
Yeah, very, very cool. And man, nice words there, buddy. Ted Leitner, legend here, legend in San Diego. So hats off to him, hats off to John. But here we go, a little bit of a fresh start on a whole bunch of fronts with the Aztecs. I mean, this is going to be a season, boys.
Aztec Fast, John Schaefer on the call. Now, Rich, are you at all worried about the fact that your meals when you hit the road with John Schaefer are going to be a little bit different than your meals with Ted Leitner?
Okay, so here's the thing. I don't forecast me and John like eating a lot of meals out together because I don't really see how we're going to see eye to eye the vegan John Schaefer and the carnivorous Rich Ornberger breaking bread together, because frankly that's all we could eat is bread. Like, so we'll get to the bread course.
You got to put your foot down. You got to make the reservations in advance for the places you guys are going to go out to eat, and you just got to like take him to steakhouses all across the country and like get him a side of broccoli.
No, you know, be cool though is like if you converted him from not veganism. You know what I mean? So like 4 home games in, all of a sudden John rolls into work. He's got a glass of whiskey, smoking a cigar. he brings
in his pocket.
He brings his own steak.
Like, yeah, we just got back from Fresno. They got great tri-tip sandwiches.
They do. That's a fact. Now we do like John.
I'm into it.
John enjoys the taste of steak.
Oh,
And he used to have Philly cheesesteaks all the time because he grew up in Philly. Like John likes the taste of meat. He just doesn't do it now.
Yeah,
but like, did it make him sick or something?
I don't think so. I think he got married.
No, yeah. His wife, who's awesome, Kristen, is a vegan. And so he was like, it's just easier if I don't eat meat. I'm like, John, what? And he's like, yeah, this way we don't have to make 2 different dinners. I was like, what?
Why not just not eat meat at home?
I was like, or encourage her to eat meat because it's awesome. He was like, she doesn't want to.
Well,
so
I mean, I kind of see that. You know, that'd be a tough road to hoe. But why? I mean, you go get a cheeseburger when you're out for lunch.
This is what
you're solo.
I've always speculated. And I always ask him, and he said to this. I mean, look, I've known him a decade now, and to this date, he hasn't admitted to it. But I'm like, you're a closet carnivore, aren't you? Like you're like all of a sudden it's like Kristen's like, what are you doing? Like, no, and you're in the car behind an In-N-Out burger, just smashing the leftovers from your drive-through experience.
And we should adopt Jones for a week and give him meat. Their son, Jones.
Wow. I mean, I'm going to warn you right now. You don't want to mess with Mama Bear. So if Mama Bear has rules set in place and then you take the cub and then you decide to mess around with the cub, then Mama Bear is coming after us
with the claws.
Yeah, we don't want that.
Also, I will say this: that's kidnapping.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
No,
that's
adopting.
True.
Adopting.
Yeah. We can. adopting.
Yeah. Adopt him for a week.
Yeah, and that.
For a week.
Yeah. I'm sure we could get that pushed through at the state level. Just a quick 1 weeker. No big deal.
Our 3 dads. Yeah. My 3 dads. Big Rich, TD, and Fletch are my 3 dads.
After a week, he comes back. He smokes cigarettes. And,
he's like, Mom, I'm going to go watch NASCAR in my room. And could you, if you're heading out, who's that? You going to get some vegan dinner? Yeah. I'm good. I'm ordering a pizza, but you can get me a Winston Unfiltered soft pack.
Yeah, and don't check my browsing history. You know what I'm saying?
It's going to get pretty real for you guys around here.
Big Rich TD Fletch showed me this lady called Sydney Sweeney, and I love her.
She's a fantastic actress.
Yeah. I'm going to start taking like 45-minute showers, so don't ask questions. You say, you're like 3 years old. You don't even take showers. Yeah, I do now. So anyways, congrats to John Schaefer.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, congrats to John Schaefer.
Also, congrats to us. I guess we're godparents.
Yeah. We're soon to be parents of Jones Bones Schaefer. Can't wait to meet him. Well, actually, I've already met him. Can't wait to spend a week with him and teach him all the things that no child should know.
That's correct.
All right. So coming up in about a week's time, we've got the NFL draft. So we have some enormous storylines as we're approaching there. There's a team at the tippy top of the draft who wants to do business. We'll let you know who that is coming up next. But first, want to talk to you guys about a great opportunity right here in San Diego to support a local community resource that you may or may not know exists. So if you're unfamiliar, the Ronald McDonald House is this incredible, and I mean incredible location. And it's just 300 steps across from the Children's Hospital here in San Diego. They provide overnight lodging, warm meals, and programs and services to support families during a time of medical crisis. So if your kid's at the Children's Hospital, you know what that means. It's usually an emergency. And if it isn't, they're seeing a specialist for a really important reason. And oftentimes when you're going and receiving that kind of excellent care, you have to travel a far way, whether you're traveling from somewhere else in the state or out of state to receive the care from Rady Children's Hospital. Ronald McDonald House is there to support you. So the Giving Back raffle is a great way to support the Ronald McDonald House. What it is a benefit that has been set up where they actually contribute prizes to encourage you to spend your own money. And a ticket is cheap. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it's $150. So $150, what that gains you entry to is a contest of more than 2,000 great prizes. There's 20 different vacations, 20 different vehicle options, 20 days of $20,000 prizes all summer long. And it leads up to July 25th, where there's going to be the biggest prizes. And every raffle supporter is guaranteed to win a prize in the grand prize drawing. So if you're concerned that your $150 will get you nothing, the answer is wrong. It'll get you something, and it'll get you something at very least in July, if not before then. So it's the San Diego Giving Back raffle. This is the 20th anniversary of this event. The raffle fundraisers have helped throughout the years build our San Diego home, and in return, the San Diego Ronald McDonald House has awarded more than $30 million in prizes over those years just for choosing to give back. Tickets, again, start at $150. It's the San Diego Giving Back raffle. That's the San Diego Giving Back raffle.
Some big storylines coming out of the NFL draft. We're going to get to them coming up next.
This update is presented by Evans Tires and Service. Walk in or book online today at evanstires.com. NBA play-in tournament finishes up today. Pair of games in the East. The Bulls are going to be taking on the Heat. Jimmy Butler out. And in the West, Kings taking on the Pelicans. Zion Williamson out. Both those games will be played for the 8 seeds in the East and the West conferences. Padres with the day off yesterday. They're back at it today. Matt Waldron on the mound. Blue Jays in town for a 3-game series. If you're looking for a spot to hang out today, head on down to the Naughty Barrel. Awesome spot in the Gas Lamp. D. Smith will be there noon to 3. John and Jim will be there 3 to 6. You can actually sort of look into Petco Park from the spot on the patio at the Naughty Barrel. Evans Tires and Service Centers is San Diego's choice for automotive service. From maintenance to tires and major repairs, Evans Tires and Service Center is your one-stop shop. With 17 locations, there's an Evans Tires near you. Walk-ins are welcome or book online at evanstires.com.
It is a Bar Cart Friday here on Big Rich, TD, and Fletch. Bar Cart Friday brought to you by Keg and Bottle. 10 locations all throughout San Diego County. Looking to get stocked up for the weekend, stop by any of those 10 locations, or you can shop at kegandbottle.com. Tony Conja going to be coming in here a little bit later. We're going to be sipping on some Japanese whiskey. Can't wait for that. Also, man, oh man, we got a bunch of stuff we're giving away here. Pair of tickets to see indoor football, San Diego Strike Force. That is happening Sunday, April 28th against the Bay Area Panthers. SDStrikeforce.com for tickets and info there. Also have a pair of tickets to the Lakeside Rodeo. That's happening Thursday the 25th through Sunday the 28th at the Lakeside Rodeo Grounds. LakesideRodeo.com for tickets and info with that. And Wonderfront tickets, a pair every single hour here for the Sunday show at Wonderfront. Wonderfrontfestival.com for tickets there. But, man, Beck, The Roots, Natasha Bettenfield.
That's who I'm excited about.
We have some people on YouTube and the text line who caught the very end of our conversation last segment about John Schaefer and are asking what's going on. Yesterday, John Schaefer announced as the new voice of the Aztecs for the football call. Ted Leitner will still be on the call for basketball next year. His 30th and final season as announced at goaztecs.com. You can go there for more information. 40th. Excuse me.
40th. Yeah, Ted's been around for a long time. He's been doing this for a very long time, and very excited for him as his
30th on goaztecs.com.
It's wrong. I promise you.
Mm-hmm.
This past season was his 39th year. Yeah.
Wow.
So here's the deal. the NFL draft is a week away. And we're getting more and more of that splashy type news where you're hearing about teams interested in maybe moving off their draft position, or maybe more sourced reports as to who they're interested in. One of the more interesting topics is all of a sudden, I'm looking at a picture on TD's computer.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, the New England Patriots are interested in doing business at number 3.
And the Chargers are interested in doing business at 5. All of a sudden, the top 5 of this draft is going to get crazy because everybody knows the quarterbacks who are going to be going early. But
Chargers, though, that information doesn't feel all that new because we know that they have a quarterback. So, of course, they would be interested in talking to teams interested in trading up for a quarterback. But the New England Patriots, they have Bailey Zappi slated as their starting quarterback. And
they got
Jacoby Brissett was signed as a backup.
Doesn't sound great.
So unless you're planning on rocking and rolling with Zappi and Brissett 2024,
are Zappi and Brissett going to be at Wonderfront?
I do believe they're both going to be in attendance at one. We cannot promise that, but we can promise a pair of tickets this hour.
That's right.
No, dude, it's kind of wild. Okay, so Gerard Mayo takes over as the head coach of the New England Patriots. Bill Belichick, it was announced that he's going to be doing draft analysis on the Pat McAfee show. So he's not in a war room for the first time in well over 20 years. Really interesting decision for the Patriots. I guess you've got to enjoy any option available out there, and maybe you could still get a quarterback if you drop down a few slots in the draft. But that might be a risk I'm not willing to take if I'm Gerard Mayo and company.
I was reading your buddy Bill Barnwell's article. I got a bone to pick with him, by the way.
Sure.
But he was talking about the Patriots and their situation, saying if they do drop down, they might be looking to take a swing at Michael Penix Jr., who all of a sudden is dropping to day 2, which that talent doesn't make sense for me to be a day 2 quarterback.
He is riddled with injuries, and there's huge concerns on whether or not he could hold up to the
Both
rigors
knees,
of the NFL.
right? Have been injured during college.
Yeah, and more than just that. And so one of the most important things about the combine, one of the most important things about player visits pre-draft are medical. And his stock dropped. And when your stock drops and it's not related, obviously, to the way he played. I mean, he appeared in a national championship game. The national championship game was not a good game. He was flat out missing dudes. It was a bad game for Michael Penix Jr. But if you look at the body of the work, you're pretty impressive. Leaving Indiana, coming to Washington, the success he enjoyed as a Huskies quarterback and starter for many years. So you say, well, then what's wrong? And it's the injury, it's the medical history.
So Bill Barnwell also continues to write about that Chargers 5th pick and say what they could do with that one. And do you know what Bill Barnwell is predicting will happen? The Chargers trade that pick to the 49ers along with another pick for wide receiver Brandon Ayuk because the Chargers desperately need a wide receiver. It makes a lot of sense.
It does.
And then you look at who would be available there for the 49ers and why would the Niners, who have a quarterback, who have all this talent, want to move up to 5? Wouldn't you think they would want to stockpile later picks to try to replace and get cheaper? Well, there's a guy by the name of Malik Neighbors who was at LSU a year ago, who had about 1,600 receiving yards and whose measurables are actually the exact same as Brandon Ayuk's. So if you're looking to get cheaper before you have to pay a quarterback, does it make sense for the 49ers? I'd rather keep Brandon Ayuk.
Yeah, I mean, of course, you'd rather keep Brandon Ayuk because he's a talented veteran receiver, and you know that he's going to produce. That'd be a great pickup for the Chargers in my eyes. I think that the Vikings would look at that and go, oh, God, no, we need the 5th pick. We need to move up.
Well, what's interesting about it is I'm curious if Bill Barnwell was just writing that based off his own machinations, or if he had heard some, source reports where he can't substantiate them. He doesn't want to go to, Twitter and be like, hey, I heard that the Niners are looking to trade with the Chargers for Ayuk, but maybe he heard it somewhere in the ether and was, oh, that's an interesting idea. I should write about that because if it comes true, I look like a genius anyways. And then also, if it doesn't, it's still just a cool idea to speculate about. And it would make sense because here's the deal. Look, before we knew who Brandon Ayuk was, he was the understudy to Deebo Samuel. And you still have, obviously, years left on this Deebo Samuel deal. You just redid it an offseason ago. So you get another opportunity, kind of a second bite at that apple to get another understudy under Deebo Samuel before his final contract. And so you have Brock Purdy, who's a proven and consistent performer at the quarterback position. You have Debo, who's a veteran presence in the room you're going to be drafting a receiver to if you do trade with the Chargers. And then you also have a guy who you can trust like George Kittle as a security blanket at tight end for, and Christian McCaffrey out of the backfield. Like this offense, there's enough collected talent around whatever young wide receiver you bring in there to help elevate his game and maybe hide some of his early limitations.
Yeah, I agree. It's going to be interesting.
Malik Neighbors, 1,600 yards, 14 touchdowns. He was a long ball threat. He was pretty much everything Ayuk is, and he's 6 foot 200 pounds, which is Brandon Ayuk pretty much to a T.
Wow. I mean,
I don't like it.
Except you don't know if he's Brandon Ayuk.
And the chemistry that Ayuk and Purdy were able to gain last year is something you gotta take into account.
Well, putting aside, and I know you're a huge 49ers fan,
Who,
but
me?
Yeah, a lot of people in San Diego do not care about the 49ers. There's many who care about the Chargers. More interesting would be what Ayuk looks like with Justin Herbert.
Right.
So Justin Herbert, it was promised to him that he would have a huge downfield threat with great hands with Mike Williams. It never really materialized because Mike Williams was injured too often for that to become what it was supposed to become. And then they draft the kid out of TCU, and I'm blanking.
Quentin Johnson.
Thank you, Quentin Johnson.
Oh yeah,
he was supposed to be that same type of player.
Forgot how to catch.
Did not work out at the NFL level last year. So bringing in a player like Ayuk after moving on from Keenan Allen and Mike Williams, and by the way, their tight end, they are literally and their running back. They don't have anybody to throw the football to anymore, so it would make a lot of sense.
Yeah, and I would be excited to see it. I would, just because I like it when things get kind of shook up a little bit. You know what I mean?
I don't.
I know.
Change is
I'm a
scary.
Niner fan. Listen, I'll tell you what, it was pretty hard to shake us up 6 months ago because we were so heavy. I mean, like if you tried to pick us up and shake us, it would be nearly impossible.
Yeah, that's actually impossible. I think you could use that word.
Right. But then collectively we lose over 120 pounds with ST fat loss. Yeah, no big deal. No big deal. It was actually a big deal.
Huge deal.
It seemed like an insurmountable task because if you're looking at yourself thinking, yeah, I would love to lose 20 to 30 pounds in 8 weeks time. Well, then you need to go to stfatloss.com because they have the answer for you. They have the secret to quick weight loss, and then the secret to keep that weight off, because that's what you don't hear when you talk about some of these fad diets, or you hear people talking about some of these fad diets that maybe they're doing some prescription medication diet, but as soon as they stop that prescription medication diet, they gain the weight right back and then some. And that's not healthy. So lose weight the healthy way, lose weight the right way, the quick way, and then keep the weight off. That's the most important part because you don't want a yo-yo diet.
Nope.
We say it all the time.
No, I was on the Cobra Venom diet where you actually inject Cobra Venom directly into your quadriceps twice weekly.
Nearly died.
I'll tell you right now, lost a lot of weight.
Yeah, like 86 pounds.
Gained it all back.
It's like almost immediately. As soon as you were,
and now I have this giant necrotic black spot in the middle of my leg.
And that's what happens with some of these fad diets. You get these big black spots, and you don't want them. I'll tell you what, if you'd like to also save $200 when you go to stfatloss.com and schedule your free consultation, mention Big Rich, TD, and Fletch. Wayne, Chloe, they're going to take care of you. stfatloss.com, stfatloss.com. The NBA playing around some games tonight. We're going to break them down. Coming up next.
Who is going to advance out of the last play-in round of the NBA postseason play-in? We'll tell you coming up next. So first tickets to Wonderfront coming up in just a couple minutes. So if you want to go see Beck at Wonderfront, the Sunday show, just keep listening here for, I would say the next 4 minutes. We'll tell you exactly when to call. Before we get to that, though, the NBA play-in round of the NBA postseason is coming up tonight. The final round, I should say. We have the Heat. They're going to be facing the Chicago Bulls in the East. You have the Sacramento Kings, who knocked off the Warriors, head into New Orleans, play the Pelicans, who lost to the Lakers. So we have our matchup set. I'm very interested to see what happens in the East with the Heat, especially because the Miami Heat were in this position last year, and they made it all the way to the finals.
Yeah, it's true.
They had playoff Jimmy last year.
They did.
He's going to be out for a couple of weeks was the last I saw. And that just sucks because it happened in the first playing game. So in the matchups tonight, Jimmy Butler is going to be out for the Heat, their best player, and playoff Jimmy Buckets has been a thing over the last few years. And then in the West, Zion Williamson is going to be out for the game tonight too. So two of the biggest stars that we got in the play-in round are both going to be missing the winner in game.
Yeah, I would say the Heat don't make it through this one without Jimmy Butler.
The Heat is They still have Bam Adebayo. They still have a good culture in place. Look, Riley and Spoelstra, they've really created something special in Miami. And I think obviously with a veteran presence like Jimmy, it's been helpful. Also, the Heat, they've been on a little bit of a tear to finish up the regular season. Through the last 10 games of the regular season, I want to say they won 7 of them. So I'm curious again, like that of these 4 teams, Bulls, Heat, Sacramento, the Kings against the Pelicans. The most interesting team to me is the team that appeared in the finals. And again, a circuitous route last year, but they found their way, giving some problems to the Denver Nuggets before essentially falling to them. Like everybody in the postseason fell to the Nuggets. The Nuggets kind of made quick work of the postseason, even though it stretches for 2.5 months.
I thought Fletcher's going to show up all in Kings gear today.
Light the beam, baby.
Yeah. Tell me 2 Kings players
I don't know if I can do that.
Yeah. Charles and
Well, no, Harrison Barnes is on the Kings.
Okay, keep going.
De'Aaron Fox, is he still on the Kings?
De'Aaron Fox is on the Kings.
Oh, that's two.
Okay.
You suck it, bro.
Okay.
Tell us the name of the new Taylor Swift album.
Ooh, okay. I saw this. It's something folklore.
Yeah, what kind of
Wow.
the tortured poets department?
Okay, last Kings question. Who is their head coach?
No idea. You missed me on that one.
That's so funny. He's like, I'm going to be a Kings fan now.
Yeah, I haven't done any research on it yet.
Listen, I just bought the gear,
Bro,
bro.
play tonight. I'll set my prize picks lineup in a little bit, and then we'll be all good.
That's actually a good idea.
Yeah.
That's a really good idea.
Lock it in.
Hey, by the way, if you want to win those Wonderfront tickets, call 877-767-4760. Don't call right now. Call it exactly 6:58. Call at 6:58, 877-767-4760. And you're going to Wonderfront on the Sunday show.
Woo!
Yeah. Woof.
As a Kings fan, when you're locking in your prize picks, I mean, you have to go more on everything.
I would say so.
I mean,
I would say so.
So if you're a fan, I mean, let's see you lock it in right now.
By the way, #1 daily sports fantasy app in North America, more than 3 million users. And I'll tell you right now, I was hesitant. You know, I was like, hey, I already got a couple of daily fantasy apps that I'm on. Fletch, I don't need to do this, buddy. And then he goes, no, dude, you're missing out. And so one day I'm looking over his shoulder. I'm like, what you doing? He goes, I'm on my prize picks app, bro. Leave me alone. I'm like, who you going more or less on? And he's filling out an entry. And I realized, oh my gosh, they give you an opportunity to go up to 6 players per entry. They give you an opportunity to play this demons. And what is it? The green ones are angels?
Demons and goblins.
Oh, and goblins. Oh, these are just fun little opportunities to get bigger multipliers if you include some of these aspects into your entries. And also, we've got like a really special entry for the NBA postseason coming up.
Yeah, these are huge. So the stars, which I'll talk about first, the stars, if you include the stars in your lineup, which LeBron James was the star a little earlier in the postseason, I'm sure he will continue to be so later on. If you include the stars, you're going to get a 10% higher payout at the end. So whatever you thought you were going to get, you'll get a little bit more. And then right now, Nikola Jokic for Monday's game against the Lakers, Vegas has his point total at 26.5 points. Guess what Prize Picks has it at? A half point. So you can go ahead and lock that more than in right now. And what's cool about Prize Picks is for Monday's game, you can lock in Nikola Jokic at a half point. And then you can make a bunch of lineups for today. So you'll know that by today, whether or not you're going to win with that extra free spot on the bingo card. You got to download the Prize Picks app, use promo code DOGS, DOGS, and you're just going to have a lot more fun watching sports. I said it a couple months ago, and Rich didn't believe me. Like, I'm in sports heaven right now because of Prize Picks, because you're not able to just make these lineups and then sit there and forget it. You're able to make these lineups and then be more locked into the game. So if you want to be a better sports fan today, download the Prize Picks app today.
Yeah, you get that game 2 free square, Lakers, Nuggets, the Joker, right? Nikola Jokic, a half point. Obviously, you're going to pick more. And then all you got to do is pick one other player, fill out a full entry, or you could add 5 more players if you want. And then that's it. You're off to the races looking for your first win on the Prize Picks app. So what do you have to do? You have to download the Prize Picks app. In fact, do this with me right now. Download the Prize Picks app. Okay, there it is. It's buffering. Good. Okay, sign up for the Prize Picks app. But don't just finish your sign up without putting a promo code DOGS. That's dogs is your promo code. You're going to double your deposit up to $100. Again, that's promo code DOGS. Double your first deposit up to $100. Pick more, pick less. Prize Picks.
This update is presented by the County of San Diego Health and Human Services Agency. NBA play-in tournament will finish up today in pair games. In the East, Bulls are going to be taking on the Heat for the 8th seed. Jimmy Butler going to miss the game tonight for the Heat. In the West, Kings will be taking on the Pelicans. Zion Williamson out for the Pellies. Padres with the day off yesterday, back at it today. Matt Waldron on the mound. Blue Jays coming to town for a 3-game series. And if you're looking for a spot to watch all these games, head on down to the Naughty Barrel in the Gas Lamp. Darren Smith be there noon to 3. John and Jim from 3 to 6. Child Abuse Prevention Month is about taking action as a community to recognize and prevent child abuse. Ensure the community is a great place for children to thrive. Call 211 24/7 to access resources. Brought to you by the County of San Diego Health and Human Services Agency.
Yeah, happy Friday to those who celebrate. Happy Bar Car Friday to y'all.
Get a little twang right away.
Yeah, buddy. It is a Bar Car Friday brought to you by Keg and Bottle, 10 locations around San Diego. And we are cracking open our first of many drinks here on a Friday. Only way we know how to celebrate. Yeah. Ooh, that's cold.
Yeah.
That's very, very cold.
Woo! It's the end of the week. Winding things down.
I'm not a
You're
C- in a while.
Yeah, well,
That's nice.
it has been several days.
Tell you what, that hits different. That's a
Mhm.
pre-coffee C-. I
What?
just realized. I
That's normal.
haven't even had a sip of coffee yet.
That's normal. It's fine.
Yeah. That'll
Yeah.
do, pig. That'll do.
Mm,
Yeah.
mm,
So we're going
mm,
to start with Coors Light. And then, of
Right.
course, in the 8 o'clock hour, we're going to welcome in Tony Kanja, owner, operator,
Right.
Keg and Bottle, 10 locations around San Diego. Coming in with him, LHK Spirits. They're going to bring in Kaio, which is a Japanese whiskey.
whiskey.
Yeah, going to be interesting to taste. We're going to sample through a couple of different
Wow.
Japanese whiskeys, and then they're going to be making cocktails with the cognac, the Japanese cognac that's coming in.
Yeah. So a Kaio Old Fashioned, a Kaio Manhattan, and a Celt XO Margarita.
I like that.
Woo!
Like the way that sounds.
Having a whiskey margarita?
A whiskey margarita. Yeah,
I'm in.
never had one in my life. I can
Mm-mm.
promise you that. But I'm
Mm-mm.
very interested to see what that's.
I mean, I
like.
love a whiskey mule, which is like a Moscow mule, which is typically made with vodka. So maybe a drink that's typically made with tequila, I
And
will
that-
enjoy.
That's happening more often now. And you guys, obviously, we've been doing this for over a year now. When you have an old fashioned, but it's made with, I don't know, tequila instead of whiskey, or when you have a margarita, for example, made with cognac instead of tequila, or you have like a drink that's supposed to be made with rum that's made with a different spirit. I don't know. It's becoming more commonplace now, and I'm not against it. I like the
Yeah.
fact that all these, spirits are being, used for different types of drinks or different types of cocktails than they ever have been before.
Well, I have a new drink order at a restaurant. I get a tequila old fashioned now. If I go to like a sit down Mexican place,
Yeah.
that's my go to.
Yeah, I like it as well. But do you think you should call it like a new fashion?
I see what you're saying.
You know what I mean?
I see what you're
It's
saying.
not sound like the old fashioned.
It's
New fashion.
nouveau. It's more,
Yeah.
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 I get what you're saying.
Right. You know.
I don't like it. I don't like that you're trying to change things.
Well, I'm not trying to change things. I'm just saying, like, if I order an old fashioned,
Sounds like you're trying to change
it's
things.
got the whiskey.
Definitely sounds like you're trying to change a couple of things. You know what? With the Padres right now, I would change nothing. I would change nothing except for maybe having you, Darvish, not on the IL. That would be like if the wish list was one item long, it would be like you, Darvish, doesn't have neck stiffness.
Yeah, we'll change the tight neck to a loose neck.
Yeah, loose neck. Yeah. Actually, on second thought, you, Darvish, is off the IL because he's got a loose neck. That would be good news, especially since he was added to IL after his most recent start against the Dodgers, where I guess he first reported symptoms on Monday. So this is a retroactive IL stint. You're allowed to back it up a couple of days if it's found to be that your symptoms were first reported at a certain time and you're going to try to tough it out, but then you realize, I'm too hurt to make my next start. They really did this for pitchers. It's the only position it really makes sense for. So it doesn't sound all that serious if they're willing to back up the date all the way to Monday. And we first found out about this, yesterday?
Mhm.
So I'm not all that worried about it, but it does suck that he's going to miss a start.
Yeah, it does. It does, absolutely. However, if I'm thinking, okay, so maybe there's going to be one time he's injured, he's out this season, at least one time, let's make it early. not make it late.
Yeah.
Does anyone have a good
Yeah.
birthday toast?
Is it
When
whose
you
birthday
raise the
is it?
glass? Oh, it's a very important birthday here in San Diego.
It
City.
is?
Do you not know this?
I don't know. No, I
It is
don't.
the 21st birthday of somebody very important here in San Diego, TD.
It is the 21st birthday of
I'm trying to remember. We talked about
just
it.
told you guys this during the
No.
commercial break.
I wasn't even in here in the commercial break.
Yeah, neither
The
was I.
last one, maybe.
Lamont
Who are you
Butler.
talking about?
Lamont Butler. No.
He makes cat sounds.
Jackson Farrell Merrill.
Yes!
Oh, yes. Oh,
Happy
my God.
birthday,
It's
Jackson
his 21st.
Merrill.
So
Yeah.
for the first time ever, Jackson Merrill is going to have a beer tonight, maybe.
Yeah.
Probably at the Naughty Barrel,
Well, maybe.
where you can join John and Jim and Darren Smith show today.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, which I will be at.
Yeah, we'll definitely be at. Is it spelled Naughty?
No, it's spelled with a
Oh,
K.
Got
like
it.
naughty.
Got it. That makes more
Um,
sense. Are you like trying to put your words together for a perfect birthday quote for
Yeah,
Jackson Farrell Merrill?
I'm-
By
I'm-
the way, Patrick. Oh my God, listener Patrick sending me more Farrell Merrill picks, and I'm here for it. I mean, I love him.
All right, how about this one? Okay. To Jackson Farrell Merrill on
Mhm.
his birthday. Here's to the hole that never heals. The more you rub it, the better it feels.
Ew.
What?
What? What?
What? That's
Oh,
a toast.
yeah,
You
it's
asked
good.
for a toast.
That's good.
I tried
Yeah.
my hardest, and that's what I could come up
Yeah.
with. Sorry.
Jeez. Yeah, Farrell Merrill turning 21. How about that? I hope there's cake. Will someone bring a cake here?
In honor
I
of
could do
Jackson Merrill.
cake.
We're eating cake on his birthday.
Did
trying
you
to
see Paul's, is it Skinnis? The Pittsburgh Pirates top prospect.
Okay.
He's throwing heaters, man. He's throwing over 100 miles per hour through 3.5 innings in
Yeah.
a AAA game. The story here is his girlfriend is Olivia Dunn.
I do know
yeah.
who this guy
oh,
is because
oh.
everyone hates this guy because he's dating Olivia Dunn.
Oh.
Turns out he's pretty good.
Oh, that makes him a lot more interesting. I'm like, why is TD talking about some minor leaguer in the Pirate system?
So we don't
cares?
like minor leaguers. Unfortunately, don't get paid squat like nothing.
By the
Right.
way, here's been
I
the
mean-
problem. I actually did read about this guy. Here's been the problem with him. So every time he throws a pitch, the game, like, it's not like an official timeout, but like there's always time in between each pitch, more time than there's supposed to be,
Mhm.
because either the catcher or the umpire is like smelling the balls.
God.
It's really
Yeah.
gross. I mean, I'm against it. I want to be on the record. Like, I
Has
think
it
that's
touched his right hand, which presumably has touched Livy Dunn?
well. See that, and then, you know what? You connected all the dots, but I didn't want to say that. What I think it's awful that they're doing this. That
How
they're-
about the
can
fact
you
that
just-
this
it's
guy-
these umpires, creepy umpires?
The only reason, honestly, the only reason I know Livy Dunn is because of like the internet. I don't even know she's a gymnast.
Yeah,
She-
she's
yeah.
really good too, apparently, at LSU. But she
Apparently,
also,
I've never
Wait
seen
a
her.
second,
I've never seen her
wait a second.
gymnast.
Tell me if she's a good gymnast or not.
I think she is.
Wait,
Like,
wait a second. Wait a second. Like, actually good at gymnastics, or she's just beautiful and you've seen her on TikTok?
beautiful, hot, and I've seen her do gymnastics on TikTok, like at national competitions with LSU. And I think LSU does have a highly ranked gymnastics program. Now,
Is she like in the Olympics?
I don't know about that, but if you watch ESPN at all,
Wait a second. And you think LSU is good at gymnastics? You've done zero research. You're just trying to make yourself sound like less of a creep.
No, I'm totally
you're
agree.
good. Actually, she's a really good gymnast.
but if you watch,
She belongs to what I believe to be a gymnastics.
I've definitely seen her at like award ceremonies also on TikTok getting medals. So I think she's pretty good. But I don't know how they
Getting
grade
awards.
gymnastics.
They may have participation awards.
I don't know. Like, no, on the podium, the stupid like 3-2-1 thing, you know, the one's low, one's high, one's. But if you watch
I-
like
I watch-
national TV sports stations,
Yeah.
she's on 5 different commercials any given day.
Dude, what does that have to do with
She
whether or not
is?
she's good or not?
TD was like, I don't know where I know her
Fame.
from.
Fame is the most.
I-
I know,
If-
but I'm
if
saying
she's
like
on a
I could-
commercial.
yeah.
I don't know it.
there's all the different leggings brands. Like Viore has her as one of their main sponsors.
How many leggings brand commercials are you watching?
On ESPN,
What?
they in the studio, they pop up every single day, and I'm like, oh hey, that's Livy Dunn.
She apparently is not going to be at the Paris Olympics. Wah, wah.
Hang on. Is Livy Dunn good at gymnastics? I've never even considered to ask that question or speculate on whether or not she was good at gymnastics. I have no idea. Let's see.
Wow.
Over. So
She earned a gold medal in a team event, finished 6th in the individual all-around event at the SEC Championships. She scored a 9.9 on the uneven
Okay.
bars. I assume that's out of 10 to finish 2nd place in the team event.
Be honest, this is the first time you ever even consider to look up whether or not she's good at gymnastics.
Yes, but I
Before,
have
you're
seen
just trying to cover
videos.
up for being a complete creep.
I've seen videos of her receiving medals. So obviously she's kind of good.
Guys, if you go to her TikTok account, 7 from the top, she's receiving a medal.
Just
Trust
kidding.
me, I know. I get alerts every time she posts a new video.
You know, I'm going to sit back, drink my beer,
what?
enjoy myself on this Bar Car Friday. You a-holes do the show and stop calling me a perv.
You brought this on yourself.
Oh,
Man, oh man.
dude, you
Yeah,
and
I
these,
didn't bring up Livy Dunn.
you and these umpires who are like sniffing Paul Skenes's balls. and
Good Lord.
Well, listen, I'm talking about
God.
baseballs, guys.
Right.
You know me. It's
Right.
Papa Rich.
Yeah.
Talking baseball again. Wait a second. Now your computer is so distracting because in the middle of the show, I never know what I'm going to see when I look over.
Yeah.
Is that our buddy John Cougar
That's
Mellencamp
John
again?
Cougar Mellencamp. He has gotten mad again.
He's yelling at more fans.
Yeah. So,
Dude, maybe we should stop talking about John Cougar. I feel like
But-
he's going to yell at us.
yeah, he's going to be super mad. So, John Cougar now at another concert. That's him. That's our guy. He was now ranting on stage about other rants he's had. And then somebody,
East the Bulls will be taking.
what is going on? Ghost in the Machine. Ghost in the Machine. And apparently during the rant, somebody yelled out, play some music because the rant was so long. And John Cougar Mellencamp says, what do you think I've been doing, you blank sucker?
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Wait.
Chili
So this
dog?
happened a
Chili
second time?
dog.
That's what he said the first time around.
So
Sucking on a chili dog.
Sucking on chili dog.
Oh, man. Yeah, I don't know. He's angry about something.
Outside taste free.
It would be so great if he, instead of calling, you know what? You're a GD
Yeah.
chili dog sucker. Outside of taste of freeze.
This one's for you. What's your name, pal? All right. Here's a story about Bill and Diane.
Sucking on a chili dog. Just about as fast as he can. Sucking on a chili dog.
Is there a Tasty Freeze near us?
I hope so.
Let's look
I
one
mean,
up.
I certainly
Mm.
hope
I
so.
think we already did this.
Did we already look up Tasty Freeze?
I think we
so.
looked up Dairy Queen.
Yeah, I looked up Dairy Queen.
Dairy Queen.
Tasty Freeze.
Which
I'm
is-
pretty sure we did Tasty Freeze
I don't
also. And that led us to
recall.
looking up Dairy Queens.
There's a Tasty Freeze, Foster Freeze. It's Foster Freeze, not Tasty Freeze.
So that Foster Freeze you were focused, that was around the block from the first house I rented in San Diego when
No
I
way.
signed with the Chargers. Yeah. So we lived down. I never even heard of a Foster Freeze before moving to San Diego.
There's a Tasty Freeze in Marietta, up in Temecula.
I'll be
Temecula,
damned.
Marietta.
Looks like we got a road trip on our hands, boys.
What is that? 45 minutes?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
we'll be sucking on chili dogs.
Outside of a Tasty
I'll
Freeze.
drive you guys left foot and then Tacoma.
Dude, I think that's our next viral video.
Oh God.
Just see me just pounding a chili dog, and then all of a sudden you walk into the frame. He's sucking on a chili dog. Out back a taste of freeze. Dude.
Poor Fletch can't walk. He's got to scoot around on his knees.
So anyways, guys, I
Yeah,
think we
so
figured
Padres.
it out. Loose neck, that's what we're wishing for you, Darvish. Paul Skenes, minor leaguer for the Pirates. I mean,
Yeah.
like super cool dude.
Yeah.
Um,
And his girlfriend is very talented or not.
Or
we
no.
don't know.
not 100% sure on
Yeah.
that. Honestly, not 100% sure, but our local expert, Ben Fletcher, has a
Yeah.
lot of info.
Did you guys see AJ Brown?
You know they used to sell, or she was selling her used leotards, and they
What?
sold out within like
What?
5 minutes.
Okay. I'm
Look it
now, hang on. I'm not.
I actually-
listen. By the way, I'm not looking this up
Good
because I don't
God.
believe you. I 100% believe this is true.
Well,
I
no,
just wanna
because
know,
I
like-
learned that from Jim Russell. So I don't know.
Okay.
Oh
So
wait, Jim Russell said that Livy Dunn was selling used leotards.
Used leotards,
on.
and she was selling them for quite a bit of money, and they sold out within like minutes.
How many used leotards does she have?
Well, look at him. How many used jerseys did he have during the NFL? I would assume you get a new one every game.
Did you get a new one every game?
Can I ask you? I mean, is there a creepier thing than having, I don't know, your wife, for example, going through your credit card statement and like, did you spend $1,000 at an auction? And you're like, yeah. Okay, it says here SBM auction. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. So what does that stand for exactly? Oh, it's a sports buy memorabilia auction. Yeah. What did you buy for $1,500
Just a jersey.
Oh, a used leotard.
Of course. Of course.
You know Livy Dunn.
Yeah. I would say that whoever purchased that, Livy Dunn, should immediately put them on like the
All right.
block list.
I found an article. Here we go. Olivia Dunn signed LSU leotards sell out within hours for $130 a piece and already being resold for $1,000. But auction is flooded with creepy fans asking, do gymnasts typically wear underwear with these?
Oh no.
God.
Yeah.
Wow.
This was a mistake.
Yeah, no doubt. By
Probably
the way,
not. She probably made a lot of money.
$130 is all she sold them for.
Oh,
Didn't we
Jesus.
read that story about the girl who was selling her farts online?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
She actually ended up in the hospital.
Yeah, but she
Yeah.
made like thousands of dollars.
Hundreds of thousands.
Right.
Yeah.
But because she was eating so many like fart-inducing foods,
Mm.
it like screwed up her insides.
People are weird.
Yeah. AJ Brown has updated his Twitter profile with Tom Brady's picture.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so he's also followed a couple of Patriots players. There's a lot of like Patriot blog sites who are speculating that AJ Brown's trying to force his way to New England, which is an interesting move. Right now, he would be going from Jalen Hurts to Bailey Zappi, but maybe his assumption is that, I don't know, maybe somehow the Patriots are bluffing with this idea that they're looking to trade down and they're actually looking to get a new quarterback. And unless he's really impressed with Zappi or Jacoby Brissett,
Could be.
or just that unhappy with Jalen Hurts, or that unhappy with the amount of money he's being paid. He said,
Can't be that. That dude signed a massive contract
Well,
when he got to the Eagles.
Well, maybe he's thinking that if he went to New England and Tom Brady, who has now said, hey, I'm willing to come back, that maybe Zappi can get him far enough to where Tom Brady can sneak in the last half of the season and he's thrown to AJ Brown.
maybe he's trying to encourage the Philadelphia Eagles to hire Bill Belichick and Tom Brady.
It's true. That could also happen.
I don't know what this is about. It's a little weird.
Maybe Livy Dunn is kicker. Remember Unnecessary Roughness?
I do remember that.
Was Erica Eleniak, I think, was the kicker. Yeah. You don't
I don't know that one.
Hold on. Let's look it up. Erica Eleniak. I mean, that could be played by Livy Dunn.
Hmm.
Ooh.
Nothing
Wow.
came up.
Well, maybe I'm wrong. Listen, the current pictures of Erica Eleniak,
Let me ask you.
that more like Fletch's feet.
Let me ask you a question about the Padres to start this season. So one of the questions that remains on my mind left over from last year was Bob Melvin as big of a problem as we were told or it was believed to be, or was that just a scapegoat? Now, I've kind of stood firm on the fact that Bob Melvin was getting scapegoated, that the issues were probably much deeper than the fact that he and AJ Preller couldn't get, on the same page, because clearly it worked for 2022. And that this is just the information that's being shared with people. And Bob Melvin's not going to blow up his own career by going scorched earth on the Padres front office and all these quote unquote sourced reports that are being fed to the reporters that are close to the Padres. Well, yeah, they paint it in a light where AJ Preller does bear some of the blame because he couldn't get along with the manager, but who's gone? You know what I mean?
So glad you brought this up, because I don't know if you guys knew this, but Eric Hosmer was on with Eddie Papani a few
yeah.
days ago.
Yeah.
And he was talking about the Jace Tingler years in San Diego and how they were going and how Jace Tingler was literally an arm of AJ Preller, which I think we all knew. That wasn't a huge revelation. But then he talked about the contrast between the Jace Tingler years, which was literally AJ Preller was basically the manager of that team, and then the Bob Melvin years, where Bob wanted to do things Bob's way. And AJ didn't really want that or like that. And that's what caused most of the friction. So I believe there was 100% friction last year. And then remember Kevin Acee telling us earlier this offseason that Mike Schilt and AJ Preller, while it's not the same relationship that he had with Tingler where he was controlling everything, Mike Schilt just literally has very similar perspectives to things as AJ Preller. So they work a little better hand in hand. But I think the issues last year in the Padres clubhouse, first of all, the players were problems. Like they had problems, I think, among themselves. The chemistry never really felt like it was there last year.
See that,
but the bigger problems came with Bob Melvin and AJ Preller.
well, you know what? That's what we were led to believe. And you know this about my personality from working together with me or us working together. I'm always skeptical when we're given one story and it is, and don't get me wrong, like sometimes it's accurate. I'm not saying it isn't. Like, for example, Ohtani and this interpreter, he may have been that naive. This interpreter may have been that bad of a guy. And so maybe this is an open and shut case. Maybe Ohtani was completely fleeced by this guy for a number of years and he lost $16 million plus and we can all move on with our lives. Okay. Sometimes it's that, open and shut.
Yeah.
But this just doesn't feel like that. Like it sort of feels like, okay, so AJ Preller obviously bears some of the blame, obviously bears some of the brunt of the political, or I should say the public relations damages that come in the fallout of a manager being moved on to a division rival. Like you have to blame somebody for that. So AJ Preller is obviously bearing some of that, the brunt of that blame. But it does sort of feel like they're protecting players in this clubhouse. It does feel like the bigger problem wasn't that Bob Melvin and AJ Preller couldn't get along. Give me a break.
Right.
Like,
right.
Are you kidding me? Like, what about Machado and the year that he had and the leadership in the locker room?
Darren brought that
Or
up
in the
yesterday,
clubhouse.
kind of in a similar conversation where he talked about last year, the team comes into spring training talking about winning, and Manny comes into spring training talking about his contract. Like, how much of an issue did that cause within the clubhouse?
Literally, it was mentioned, and I didn't. This isn't from our show. I've heard this somewhere else. It was mentioned that one of the things that was mentioned at the time when they signed Bogarts was, "Hey, why is he getting my money?" Like that sort of stuff.
Right.
Like, so, okay, look, if that's something, and that didn't come from us. That's something that's just been sort of shared a couple of times over and over again around San Diego in the inner circles. And it's like, okay, if something like that is happening inside of a clubhouse, yeah, I'm sure the biggest problem is AJ Preller and Bob Melvin butting heads over strategy.
But that's not the story you want out there. You don't want that your team is fighting, so you go with the manager and the GM. I mean, that's it. You throw that out there and you make that the story. And there may have been a little bit of animosity there. I just don't see it as that being the problem. Are you looking at the text line? Is it Kathy Ireland?
Kathy Ireland.
Yes.
Unnecessary roughness.
Yeah.
I still don't know what that is. And also 913 saying Jay from KMB Bistro should sell his thongs.
For
Instead of Libby Dunn.
$130 a piece.
We just host an auction.
Yeah.
Like, well, everybody's into this. I mean, it's probably because it's like your uniform, Jay, but clearly not for any sexual reason whatsoever.
I don't know why you have 1,100 of them for sale, though. Seems like a lot.
We are going to make a killing, though.
Right. That's
so
right.
good. So good.
Yeah, man. Hey, I get when you are shopping for a new vehicle that sometimes it's not a lot of fun. Look, I get it. I've been there. I have gone through the haggling. I've gone through the problems of you go somewhere, you go to a dealership, you find the car you want, you sit there for hours and hours, and then you leave with nothing because you couldn't ever come to a deal. And then you think, God, that was a terrible buying experience. That doesn't happen at North County Cadillac GMC. So if you're just considering a new vehicle, a thought has just entered your mind of maybe we should start looking for a new car, stop by there. See my buddy Jamie, okay? Walk in, ask for Jamie. He's the general manager there. He's going to hook you up. They have exceptional savings on new Cadillac and GMC models right now. The Sierra 1500, the Yukon. If you're looking at that Cadillac Lyriq, and you should look at that Cadillac Lyriq. That thing is absolutely amazing. But they can also help you get a great deal on pre-owned vehicles. So it doesn't matter what you're looking for. But look, story after story of people going to North County Cadillac GMC happy with their experience there. Like this one from Paul, overall great experience. Excuse me, this from Anthony. Overall great experience. Paul, our sales rep, was the best part of the experience. Straight up guy who didn't beat around the bush. He was a solid guy, and I would highly recommend him, like I said, from Anthony. But they were also named San Diego's best domestic auto dealer in the San Diego Union Tribune Readers Poll. Go there, experience the difference yourself. Stop by North County Cadillac GMC in the heart of the Escondido Auto Mall today. North County Cadillac GMC, exceeding your expectations every time. Coming up, got some story about some Josh Allen stories we got to get to, and we got tickets to give away. We got a bunch of them, so keep it locked in here. Bigger Steedy and Fletch.
This update is presented by Anderson Plumbing, Heating and Air. NBA play-in tournament will finish up today with a pair of games. In the East, the Bulls are going to be taking on the Heat for the 8 seed. Jimmy Butler going to miss the game tonight for the Heat. And in the West, Kings taking on the Pelicans, also for the 8 seed. Zion Williamson out for the Pelicans. Padres with a day off yesterday. They're back at it today. Matt Waldron on the mound as the Blue Jays come to town for a 3-game series. And if you're looking for a spot to hang out today, watch all this sports action, head on down to the Naughty Barrel in the Gas Lamp. Darren Smith will be there noon to 3, along with Marty, John, and Jim from 3 to 6. And then coming up tomorrow, it's the Aztec Fest Showcase out at Snapdragon Stadium. Tickets are free. Go Aztecs.com. John and Jim will be broadcasting live from 11 to 1 tomorrow. Trust Anderson's emergency drain plumber for smooth flowing pipes. Nobody wows clients like they do. Anderson Plumbing, Heating and Air has been privileged to serve over 500,000 clients for more than 45 years. Anderson Plumbing, Heating and Air, AndersonPHA.com.
Got all kinds of ticket giveaways here, guys. Golly. I can't wait to be dancing a Wonderfront to this. You?
Happy 419, boys.
Wow.
Yeah,
Get ready to
419.
get trippy.
It's going to get crunk up in here because it's dank,
Yeah, dog.
dog.
I'm gonna be taking out my. I don't even know what.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
I was
The
trying
steel
to think
drums. I
I'm
feel
gonna
like
be
I hear steel drums.
I'm gonna be taking out my marijuana paraphernalia. I also participate in 420.
What was it, like 2 years ago? We have the floating holiday at iHeart San Diego where everyone gets to vote,
Oh my
and
God.
everyone voted
Oh
for
my God.
420. And I'm like, who do we work with?
Dude, that
Bob
was-
Marley?
Absolutely incredible, and it ended up getting constant. Like it was our floating
Yeah.
holiday day off.
Yeah.
Because, well, for whatever reason, like you're promised, like by the federal government, 10 vacation days every year, but then we have the floating 11th day that
Right.
we can choose. And yeah, 420. I guess it fell on a Friday one year.
Yeah, Brian
everybody's
Long
like-
was like, no, you guys are working.
Yeah, that
yeah,
sucked.
I was here that day too.
That sucked.
It was weird.
Yeah, he texted me yesterday.
What?
Really? Yeah. I gotta call that guy
What?
back. Our former program director, Brian Long. Yeah,
Wow.
He
yeah.
texted you, hey, did you see Patrick Mahomes' wife changed her hair color?
I didn't know that was not what it was about at
To
all.
red.
Oh, she did?
Yeah.
No.
She looks better.
Really? She's now a ginger?
Oh, by the way,
Gosh.
we're Wonderfront Music and,
Oh, sorry,
and
go
Arts
ahead.
Festival. We got the Sunday ticket for you. You can buy tickets at wonderfrontfestival.com or keep it locked in here if you want to win tickets to see Beck, Mount Joy, The Roots, Marcus King, Steel Pulse, Natasha Bettenfold, and the list keeps going on and
Who
on
was
and
that?
on. Beck, Mount Joy,
No, Natasha,
Dude?
Bettenfield.
you said
I
Beck
got a
and Fold.
pocket. Oh, I said fold?
Dude? She looks better as a redhead.
I'm telling
Yeah,
you,
yeah.
that's the first thought I had. Now, we haven't heard her talk since she became a redhead because I think that was part of the problem. But
Wow. Easy there, Fletch.
Well,
come on.
maybe.
Come on.
Mm,
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
I think it actually works on her.
you know
I think
what's
I should have tried that before.
What's interesting is there's a lot of apps now that like tell you what colors you should wear.
right.
Like, so like if you hold up the filter on, I think it's TikTok, it might have been Instagram, but it'll tell you like what colors are supposed to look good on you. And so I did it on me, and they're like, "We can't help you." Literally, they
Yeah,
all suck.
Yeah.
it didn't give you jet black hair.
no, fortunately it did not, because that didn't work either, as we found out. Gosh.
I didn't think it was bad.
Well, okay, hang on. Let me show you the picture.
My
again.
wife
Maybe
thought it
it'll
was hideous.
change your mind if I
Wow.
show it to you again, because that did not go well.
I mean, you kind of looked a little cartoon character ish.
Very Johnny Bravo.
Yeah,
Especially because
yeah.
he only wears like black t-shirts with
Oh,
nothing on it.
right.
yeah.
I
You just
I
need
feel
some
like
really tight jeans.
Rich is the guy though that can pull off anything.
No,
Yeah.
that is not true, because I looked like Bob's Big Boy with black hair.
Overalls, nothing underneath. Can you pull that off?
I would look like the dude from the Water Boy. I would like the assistant coach. And now Bobby Boucher. You remember that?
There's anything wrong with that. It's fine. It's fine.
Who are you looking at? Every time I look at your computer.
That's still Kathy Ireland
Oh,
from Unnecessary
okay,
Roughness.
yeah,
Yeah, so
Kathy,
if this show
she was a
had a
babe.
moment where everyone was calling me a perv,
She
what's
still
on
is.
TD's computer all show long?
Good
No,
point.
look,
Dude, solid point.
Research.
Well, okay.
No,
in
you're
the
looking up like celebrities peeing.
hang on. In the
No.
first hour, to your defense, Fletch, way creepier what was
Yeah.
going on his
Right?
computer.
What, Cardi B?
No, well, Cardi B was not that.
Yeah, the fact that there's multiple examples should be enough, right?
What?
It was
Hang on.
Kendall Jenner or Kylie Jenner.
No,
Somebody
it
was hovering
it was
over,
Kourtney Kardashian.
and what was she doing?
She
TD?
was hovering over a public toilet because Travis Barker took a picture of her, I guess, going to the restroom
And I'm the weird
and then
one.
posted it.
Yeah.
And I'm
it
the
was
weird
an
one.
article. I want to know why it was
Okay.
happening.
Well, I will say this in TD's defense.
Can't find the article.
I
now.
would have clicked the thumbnail also.
Well, there it is. See, look.
And to also just to further discussion and push it forward, like Fletch, this doesn't get you off the hook for knowing nothing about Livy Dunn
Oh, I
except
know.
for the fact that she was super hot.
I know a lot about Livy Dunn.
Well, now you do. We forced you. We actually bullied you into researching her gymnastics career.
Travis Barker trolls Kourtney
Not even worth it.
Kardashian.
Just gonna shut up.
Just saying.
Oh, I love this show so
I was about
much.
to come out with some yelling. Not gonna do it.
No, don't get
Go
worried.
ahead. What's
What?
up with Travis Barker?
Nothing. He's just posting pictures of his wife online, and she's peeing.
Yeah. Yeah. Look, I mean, who doesn't these days?
Right. You know how much my wife loves it if I walk in and try to take a picture of her while she's peeing.
It's like, oh, it's like an evening event. You're like, wait, let me.
Oh, what time is it?
Just want to take a quick snapshot.
Yeah.
So really quick, so Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs, the divorce is settled. So he's now a Houston Texan receiver. He's on a 1-year contract with Houston. The Buffalo Bills are most likely searching for an option to make up for what they lost statistically with Stephon Diggs moving on. But it really does feel like what's not being said is the loudest part of this story. So Josh Allen answers questions with reporters the only way he can or should, which is like, man, we really appreciated all of Stephon Diggs' hard work. Man, when he was here, man, it means a lot.
Right.
It means a lot that he was here with us. Gosh.
I wish we could keep everybody, but
Yeah.
that's the nature of the biz.
You know what? Man, we love Diggs. Like
Yeah.
all those things are exactly what he should have said. But behind the scenes, he's like, thank God and good riddance.
Yeah.
Because there
Yeah.
was friction. It was obvious. I mean, the guy, he upped and left OTAs, and then Sean McDermott came to the podium and was like, this is a big problem. And then I guess Diggs' agent or
He said, I don't even know where he is.
Yeah.
I don't even know why he had the day off.
exactly right. Which, by the way, was a complete lie. Obviously, he knew exactly the reason why he stormed out of the Bills facility.
Right.
He just wasn't going to share with the media, but he was pissed.
Right.
And he didn't like what was going on. And then I'm sure somebody from Diggs' agency or his camp got in touch with the Bills brass and was like, yeah, you guys better play down the Diggs is a bad guy thing. Otherwise, you're going to have a big old headache on your hands.
Yeah.
That's exactly what the Bills did. And they were forced into playing ball with somebody who tantrumed his way out of Minnesota and was doing the same thing in Buffalo before getting traded to Houston for what looks like an opportunity to take that one last, big bite at the apple for a free agent contract after this upcoming season. Good for Diggs. It worked out for him. But this bad behavior by receivers storyline, man, it happens every single year.
So, Richie, I got to tell you something here.
Yeah.
Something that's going to be breaking news here in exactly 53 minutes.
Oh, boy.
Exactly 53 minutes.
What is about to happen?
The European Darts Grand Prix begins.
Wow.
I'm going to get my prize.
Yeah, you
picks.
better,
53
because in
minutes.
53
Okay.
minutes, Martin Grierson is about to get going, and he is set at 0.5, 180's thrown.
At 8:35.
That's when his match starts. And I got to tell you, TD, I'm going to be locked in. You know why I care about darts? Because of Prize Picks.
Yeah.
America's #1 fantasy sports app, over 3 million active members, and I was able to bring Richie over from some of those other apps. The best part about Prize Picks is all you're doing is picking more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections, and you can watch the winnings roll in. You can now win up to 100 times your money on Prize Picks with as little as 4 correct picks. That's if you use the demons. You can turn $10 into $1,000 with baseball, hockey, basketball, college basketball. College basketball's over. Replace it with darts, because darts is actually electric, and I'm going to get it on in studio so we can all watch it. I promise you that. Get on over to Prize Picks today. Download the app. Use promo code DOGS, DOGS, as in the roadies, the dogs, the hangers, the bangers, and you'll get a first deposit match up to $100. Richie, I see you working. What are you working on?
I can't believe I just did this, but I went more on the 0.5 180s thrown by Martin Grierson. And then it went less on the 3 180s thrown by Stephen Bunting. That seems like a lot for Bunting. He's had a slow season so far in darts.
How about Raymond Van Barneveld?
Talk to me about him.
2 180s thrown.
I would take more on Von Barnfield.
I'm going less.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, big
All right.
mistake.
3-player entry pays up to 5 times your money. So yeah, I'm in, man. The $5 entry submitted on Prize Picks right now, and that's how quick it can happen. That took me 35 seconds to do. Get on over to Prize Picks today. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy. Use promo code DOGS. Get a first deposit match up to $100. And welcome to all the people on the free iHeartRadio app who just tuned in. TD, what do you got to tell them?
We got a ticket giveaway for you. Wonderfront Music and Arts Festival tickets. If you want to buy them, wonderfrontfestival.com. But if you want to win them, 7:46 in 2 minutes.
What?
In 2 minutes. That way the app listeners have a shot here. 877-767-4760. You're going to win those tickets.
Coming up next, it's a Bar Car Friday here on Big Rich, TD, and Fletch. We'll tell you what we're drinking, and we have one more giveaway this hour. Big Rich, TDM, Fletch. We have one more giveaway this hour. We're going to be giving away those San Diego Strike Force tickets here coming up in just a few minutes. We'll tell you how to win those. But we had a Wonderfront winner. Who won?
Yeah, congrats to Edgar. That dude had awesome energy. He's excited to see, guess who?
Who?
T-Pain.
Dude, T-Pain.
Dude, what is going on?
Ticket.
I'm telling you, that concert is so much fun. I saw him in college, and maybe it was
You
because
saw
I
him
was
live?
Yeah,
Oh,
he,
wow.
he actually came to Cal Poly and performed for us.
Oh, wow.
And it was one of the funnest shows I've ever been to.
Dude, I love that.
It's actually the first time Kendall and I kissed.
Wait, what?
Wait, after you were married?
No, it's
Well-
T-Pain.
You guys obviously waited till marriage.
I honestly
right?
don't know if that's true. I know that was very early
Wait
on
a
in our
second.
relationship.
So you guys went to a T-Pain concert, and to your knowledge, that's the first time you guys ever kissed?
I could be very
Had
wrong
you
on that.
met before, or you just randomly
No,
saw
we,
her?
we worked together, and then we went to that concert together.
Ooh.
Wait a second. Where were you
This
working?
is
Wait,
spicy.
wait, the staff was fraternizing?
Yeah, what?
I was
What's
actually
going
her
on?
boss at the time we started dating.
Oh wow!
You were banging the employees?
She quickly became my boss.
Interesting.
You mean?
Oh, you mean in life?
Both.
Wait,
Wait,
I was such an underachiever at work in
hold
college.
on, hold on.
Wait, so
Wait,
she
hold on.
was-
You hooked up with the employee, and then she got the promotion.
Yeah. Not because of that. As far as I know.
Boy,
No, Kendall was actually good at her job. I was pretty bad at my job. I was just
Hang
there
on.
a long
Wait,
time.
what
Wait,
was the
rewind,
job? Are we
yeah,
allowed to ask
rewind.
This is where I was making crepes and stuff, dude.
Oh, this was
Oh,
at
the crepe
This was
factory.
at the. It was called the Village Market. It was up in like some of the dorms at Cal Poly, and I worked there all 4 years.
Yeah.
And the part of it was a deli
Wait,
that got changed into a
wait.
crepe station that got changed
Wait,
into
wait,
an ice cream station.
She also worked at the crepe factory, but she had you make the crepes because she couldn't make the crepes.
She was a cashier on the market side of things. I
Got it.
worked in the deli, which turned into
Uh-huh.
the crepe place.
And you were interested in the produce.
Yeah. You're like, you know what? Over on the market side, I'm enjoying the melons. Seeing
But now that I'm thinking about it, we may have already been dating by the time T-Pain came around, but it was early on.
Wait,
Early.
so as a cashier, she was so good at cashiering that they were like, we need to make her like the manager of this
So
place.
we were
Hmm.
both
Hmm.
crew leads at
Hmm.
one point.
What does that mean?
Like we were in charge of the staff,
Okay.
but
Got
we
it.
weren't managers.
It turns out she was in charge of the step. So-
What?
what? Come on!
That's my wife you're talking about, bro.
So wait, she was just a cashier. She was just a cashier looking for a promotion.
She got it.
Dude, that's an incredible story. Well, anyway, so if you're seeing T-Pain at Wonderfront, your love story might come from. Speaking of love stories, dude, we have not caught up with our friend who was trying to get the lady at
Oh,
jujitsu.
yeah,
he
You
ghosted us,
remember?
man.
What happened?
We don't have an update.
Do we have his number still?
Dude, he texted us on a therapy Thursday.
It
That's
was
right.
760 something.
Mm.
we're close.
Only
We're
got
close.
7 more digits.
You know what? I'm gonna
Man.
go back through our Thursday rundown and see if we have his number. We should give him a call.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It seems like we would have put it there.
I guarantee it. I guarantee. Listen, buddy. If you're listening right now, driving around,
Yeah.
we need an update because to catch everyone up on what we're talking about, this guy who was going to jujitsu classes met a lady who he really wanted to start a relationship with. He asked her to go on a date with him. She said immediately no. Immediately no.
Hmm.
I'm not interested.
Weird.
Or she said I'm busy, or she gave him
Yeah,
some
yeah.
sort of like blow off. So he was like, so what do I do from here? And so the three of us, we were like, well, you go right back into the fray. You
That's
ask
right.
her again.
That's right. I mean, you keep trying until the law is involved.
That's right. And then we said, and you know what? In fact, let's sweeten the pot. Maybe you guys can come in here. We'll make dinner for you and your date.
Yeah.
And-
Breakfast.
Or breakfast. Yeah.
Right.
T-Pain.
What's that?
Oh,
This
look
is
at
me and
that.
Kendall at T-Pain.
Wow. How about that?
This was sophomore year of college.
At Fletch Sports on Instagram.
Yeah, way back when I was
Okay.
like really skinny.
Yeah, you got to go on and you got to do the creepy thing and try not to heart any of the pictures from like way back in the day.
Jeez, June 4th, 2016.
Wow.
We were but children. then.
Yeah, exactly.
Geez, 2016, I was already retired from my football career and I had a 1-year-old.
You know who was my professor in 2016 in college?
Who?
Mark Willard.
Oh my
No
goodness.
way.
Yeah.
Oh, Oh yeah, he was my co-host. I was on the air for the first time here in
He would
2016.
come down to San Luis Obispo, up to San Luis Obispo, and complain about this big buffoon that he had to host a radio show with. And we were all like, who is this guy that Mark is always complaining about? It turns out,
Wait,
8 years later,
didn't I have to talk to your class?
you may have. I don't know.
Oh my gosh,
Dude, the web we weave, huh?
this is absolutely insane. Wasn't I at T-Pain?
But you know, Mark would connect from San Luis Obispo to San Diego via like ISDN.
yeah.
I was the one who set up his connection. I was
Unbelievable.
producing your shows long before you knew.
This. Listen, it is a small world.
Yeah,
Wow.
after all.
Well, listen, it's a Bar Cart Friday. We have a lot to get into, including, I believe it's pronounced Kayo. Is it Kayo? Japanese whiskey. Yeah. We're going to be dabbling. We got our friend Jay, bartender from KMB Bistro, in studio this morning. We have Adam from LHK Spirits in studio with us. Really looking forward to that. But before we run, we got to give away those San Diego Strike Force tickets. So 877-767-4760. If you want to win those, you got to be calling in at 7:57, and you got to be caller number 7 at 877-767-4760. We got some Padres updates on the other side. We have NBA play-in action tonight. We'll get to all that along with some delicious Japanese whiskey coming up next.
And I just saw a picture of myself from 2016, and I'm
Yeah.
working hard to get back to that version of Fletch. And the way I'm doing it is with SDFatLoss.com. If you're looking to get back to a former version of yourself when you were a little bit healthier, looked a little bit better, get on over to SDFatLoss.com today, because today, if you mention Big Rich, TD, and Fletch, you're going to get $200 off the program, and
Love that.
is a massive discount. So get on over, talk to Wayne and Chloe over at SDFatLoss.com. They've been our coaches through our weight loss process. They will be yours as well. They'll set you up a roadmap for the next 2 months of your life, and they will coach you through every single step of it. So if you're looking to drop some weight, look at us. The results matter, and the three of us were all able to lose a tremendous amount of weight in a very quick amount of time. Get on over to SDFatLoss.com today. $200 off your order if you use promo code Big Rich, TD, and Fletch. Promo code, what I mean by that is tell them Big Rich, TD, and Fletch sent you.
Yeah.
And you're getting
It's not actually a
$200
promo-
off.
Can you imagine a promo code? That's like, it's a 70-letter promo code. You just have to type it in perfectly.
Just let them know you heard it from us, and they know us, and we love them, and they will love you. So get on over to SDFatLoss.com today. Start making a big, big change in your life. Coming up next, Bar Cart Friday. This update is presented by Anderson Plumbing, Heating, and Air. We will start off today with the NBA Play-In Tournament, which finishes up today with a pair of games. In the East, Bulls are going to be taking on the Heat for the 8th seed. Jimmy Butler going to miss the game tonight for the Heat. And in the West, Kings will be taking on the Pelicans. Zion Williamson out for the Pellies. Padres day off yesterday, back at it today. Matt Waldron on the mound. Blue Jays coming to town for a 3-game series. And if you're looking for a spot to hang out today, head on down to the Naughty Barrel in the Gas Lamp. D. Smith will be there noon to 3. John and Jim 3 to 6. Then tomorrow, the Aztec Fast Showcase is going down at Snapdragon Stadium. Tickets are free at goaztecs.com. Trust Anderson's emergency drain plumber for smooth flowing pipe. Nobody wows clients like they do. Anderson Plumbing, Heating, and Air has been privileged to serve over 500,000 clients for more than 45 years. Anderson Plumbing, Heating, and Air, AndersonPHA.com.
Thank God it's Friday! It's been a long week and the fellas are thirsty.
Scotch, here it goes down into my belly.
It's time to cruise into the weekend. Big Rich, TD, and Fletch present Bar Card Friday. Brought to you by Keg and Bottle, with the best selection of bourbon, whiskey, tequila, private section bottles, and more.
My problem is I drink too much, way too much.
Yeah.
I got my doctor a urine specimen. There was an olive in it.
Now, let's pour some drinks.
Happy Friday to those who celebrate. Happy Bar Card Friday to everyone out there listening. It's Big Rich, TD, and Fletch, and it is a Bar Card Friday brought to you by Keg and Bottle. 10 locations around San Diego. LHK Spirits
It's
in
happening.
studio. We got Adam Parker. We got Jay Kennedy. We got David. We got Tony Kanja serving up drinks already. We got a little Kayo whiskey.
How about that? How about that?
There we go.
This is an awesome bottle. And Adam, you heard his voice there. How you doing this morning, bud?
I'm good, man. I'm good. How you guys doing?
We're doing
Thanks
really
for having
well.
me.
We're doing better now.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
got a lot
right?
better, a lot better.
Yeah,
that
it's
there's
only going to
whiskey.
get better.
And all of a sudden, Fletch, he made this like, wait, I want one.
Yeah. He's
Yeah.
grasping at the air. Like, oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. There it is. Here
Yeah.
comes Tony. Here comes Tony.
Me too. me
Yeah,
too.
right. Me wants whiskey. It was funny. I took a lift here
Oh, yeah.
because obviously, there's going to be whiskey involved. And I remember I was telling the guy this morning, like, yeah, I'm going to be drinking about 4 whiskeys for breakfast today.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Probably more than that. I'm
You
going to
know.
be honest with you.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's okay. It's not a problem. It's a passion.
Yeah, that well, 100%. And that's what we've been telling
That's
all,
what we say.
all of our wives for about a year and a half now.
Yep.
So Japanese whiskey,
Yep.
those two words actually didn't make sense next to each other for a long time. Then all of a sudden, probably about 10 years ago, was the first time I started seeing Japanese whiskey on shelves at liquor stores. So catch us up. Like, how did this happen in the first place? And
Sure.
why is Kayo now one of the brands that we can go and find on the shelves?
Yeah, absolutely. So, Japan's a pretty amazing country that's so rich in heritage, but whiskey is a thing for them. They've really only been producing whiskey in Japan for, a little over like 100 years now at this point. And, most of the world's been producing whiskey for centuries. So,
Yeah.
But it's really interesting how it kind of began. There was a guy who studied making whiskey in Scotland, fell in love with a Scottish woman, and then he essentially became
Like one does.
Yeah,
If
exactly,
there's one thing
exactly.
you know about
Yeah.
Scotland,
Yeah.
it's the ladies.
put a beautiful redhead in front of any guy, and he's going to get kicked out of the country.
Brittany Mahomes?
So he studied how to make whiskey in Scotland, and then came back and started producing it in Japan using Japanese ingredients.
Oh wow. Yeah. I mean, it's it does it taste like scotch then? Like, are the whiskeys that we're going to be sipping on, are they more like single malts? Are they what kind of flavor profile do we have?
Sure, they're going to be similar, especially the whiskeys from Kayo. Kayo really, what I think makes us really successful is, the price is right, it tastes good, it checks all those boxes.
Yeah.
But it's kind of in between a single malt and a bourbon.
Okay.
And that's specifically because of our use of the Japanese oak. We're actually considered the worldwide authority now in using Japanese oak to age whiskey in. We've revived that practice. No one had been doing it since the 1940s. And that's really where you get a lot of those awesome baking spice and vanilla notes that everybody likes in a really good bourbon. But
Yeah.
then it's made from malted barley, which is the same component that you use to make single malt scotch.
Well, I'm really excited to try
Yeah.
this. What is this first offering we're gonna have here?
So that bad girl, that is Kayo Mizunara.
She's a bad girl.
She's a bad
Yeah,
girl.
she's
She's a bad girl.
Bad.
So that's our flagship whiskey. That's our bestseller. The year that was released, that actually won number 14 whiskey in the world
Right on.
from Whiskey Advocates.
What's crazy is I
Nice,
was
man.
just watching Shogun
Love
last
you.
night.
Oh, there you go. To get ready.
Yeah.
That's an awesome
Yeah. So I'm fired up right now.
Yeah, I was watching Godzilla to get ready.
But,
It smells awesome.
yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Holy
So
Good
this is
morning
100%.
to us.
Yeah.
This is 100% malted barley.
Wow.
100% aged in Japanese oak, though.
Wow.
It's one of the few whiskeys in the world that's actually aged 100% in Japanese Mizunara oak.
No way.
Dude, that's
Yeah.
smooth.
Yeah, that is so smooth. Oh, that's incredible.
You
Yeah.
know what? It's this is gonna sound really strange, but it tastes just like it looks. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
Oh,
Like,
right.
like you know how sometimes when you have I don't know, a cup of coffee, like a really dark cup of coffee, you're like, oh, that's gonna be a thick boy.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
it's gonna be really dark. It's gonna be very rich.
Mhm.
This has a lighter, almost like light caramel color.
Yeah.
And so it is like it's a lighter whiskey. Like
Yeah.
it takes that's impressive. That's
Thank
pretty
you.
well
Yeah.
balanced.
Yeah, I mean that's our master blender is actually considered one of the best blenders on the planet. He's worked in Scotland, he's worked in Japan, he's
Yeah.
worked in France. He's kind of done a little bit of everything, and he colloquially we call this our signature whiskey because he thinks this is his signature. This is the best whiskey he can make.
Yeah. Oh, you
yeah.
want to make a Manhattan out of that
Oh,
one?
man.
Yeah,
We're gonna
well, it
make it-
sounds like it's cocktail time.
Oh,
I mean,
wow,
it's
wow, here we go.
8:15, so
Yeah, yeah.
obviously it's
Yeah,
cocktail
so we're
time.
late, is what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly. Like, we're on Japan time,
We're-
guys.
right,
Like
right.
we're past happy.
Is the distilling process any different in Japan than it is in the States?
Yeah, a little bit. What's really ironic is that this country that's like so steeped in tradition that has so many regulations to protect cultural heritage, but because whiskey's new, there's really kind of just a set of loose guidelines for producing Japanese whiskey
Mhm.
that were literally put together by the two biggest companies. So I'm not going to lie, the law kind of favors some of the bigger companies.
Oh,
Okay.
gotcha. Yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah.
But-
yeah.
So you're only allowed to distill whiskey in a 20,000-foot warehouse.
Yeah,
Like,
right,
that's one of
right.
the very important rules.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah,
But yeah, the distillation process is pretty similar.
Okay.
How it's actually put together. But again, that use of the Japanese oak is really our biggest thumbprint.
Man, it
and
tastes
and here's the crazy thing: it's the rarest, most expensive oak in the world. It only grows in Japan. You have to wait 200 years to be able to even harvest the oak to make the barrel.
Oh my god.
And it costs 10 times more than a bourbon barrel. A bourbon barrel is usually about $500-600. Japanese Mizunara oak barrel, brand new with nothing in it, it's about $6,000.
Holy smokes.
Yeah.
And it
Wow.
reflects in the price every time you look at a Mizurna cask.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So what does a bottle of this run over at Keg and Bottle?
So this particular one we tasted runs $79.99. If you mention the show,
Yep.
regular price is $100.
No way.
So
Yeah.
And as you guys know, single malt scotches are expensive
Oh,
primarily. So to
yeah.
get
Yeah.
a Japanese one for $80 right now is a must-have in your portfolio
Wow.
of booze.
That's incredible.
Yeah, thanks.
Now we got superstar bartender Jay here in studio mixing up a
Yeah.
Manhattan, and I
thought he was
just
DJing.
realized you got a super WrestleMania 3 shirt on.
Yep, I call
Hulk
that out.
Hogan, Andre the Giant.
Yep, the slam, baby.
I bought it at a Hulk store out in Florida. It was just too badass to pass up.
Dude,
Yeah.
dude,
Wait,
was
did
it his,
wait, hang
his
on.
store down at the beach?
Yeah, Clearwater,
No
right
way.
outside of Tampa. He's got.
I was about to ask, they have Hulk stores?
He's got a restaurant which we had like
Yeah.
breakfast brunch there called Hogan's Place.
Yeah.
It's got like all his belts around, and I was like,
Please tell me they only sell hoagies.
yeah. I mean, I was tripping out. My mom says, there's a merchandise store a few doors down. We went down there, and I was just in heaven. Like, they were
That's
dragging
awesome.
me out of there. They're like, let's go. I'm like,
Dude.
no, hold on, one more pick.
Did you grow up WWF?
These times, yes.
Yeah.
I
yeah.
haven't watched it in 35 years.
Yeah.
That was my
Yeah.
next question. Did anybody watch WrestleMania?
No,
I
no,
did.
but man,
Not
it's
for
like,
me.
It's like an event now. Like I mean,
It's 2 days long.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like a commitment,
It's
man. It's your
right.
whole weekend.
I've got little kids, like they're not at caring about wrestling age yet. I'm hoping though that they get into it because I
You want to dress up?
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. Well, okay, fine. Yeah,
Yeah, right.
I'm always like walking
You ain't got a
around-
lie to kick it.
I'm always walking around the kitchen. I'm wearing sunglasses and just Speedos. I'm just like, what?
So you're basically the Ultimate Warriors.
Yeah, that's right.
Except when the Hulk was here last time, you looked bigger than him.
Oh, dude.
Ooh.
Well, Lou
Oh, that-
Ferrigno.
yeah, yeah.
Lou Ferrigno came in studio and I
Oh, no
couldn't
way.
believe it. I was like, don't meet your heroes because I'm like 30 pounds heavier than Lou Ferrigno.
Right.
That's
He-
awesome.
Yeah,
He,
yeah,
he
look-
tipped one back with us
He
though.
did. He
Yeah.
did. He had a little whiskey
Yeah.
with
He was
us
awesome.
that day. That was a lot of
Yeah,
fun.
that was good times.
I want you listeners at home to know that when Jay's measuring, he measures his 1 ounce, 2 ounce, and then he does his J free pour. You know?
Yeah. There's
The
a
J4.
measurement.
It's
Then
gonna be a little
Only at
stiff.
Bar Cart Friday. I would
Good.
never do that at work.
No,
Yeah, right.
No.
No.
The
The
bar
$75
is full when
cocktail.
you work.
yeah.
What goes into like the typical Manhattan, Jay? Like, how do you put together a Manhattan? Typically?
Pretty simple. You get this sweet vermouth, some bitters, and your spirit of choice. Today it's the Cayo. And just give it a nice stir, get it a little cool down, and serve it up. Throw a cherry on there.
Done deal.
Wow.
Done
nice.
deal.
All right.
Sounds
These
drinkable.
will be ready
Yeah.
for us in a second here.
Looking
I
forward
like
to
that
that.
a lot.
Also looking forward to 2 more ticket giveaways. We've got the Lakeside Rodeo tickets. We also have that final day of Wonderfront. If you want to go, we got a pair of tickets to go head out to the Wonderfront Arts and Music Festival. First, let's do this. It's for sure.
All right. I knew it. I knew
Yeah.
it was going to be me.
It's always a guessing game in here. We're like, I think I did it
So
already.
it's like a wheel. We just spin. Look, Blue Jays are in town. Padres, Blue Jays, first pitch tonight, 6:40 p.m. We are going to be broadcasting live, right, Fletch?
Naughty Barrel.
Naughty Barrel. So you head on down there if you're looking for a place to watch the game. Going to be fantastic, and it's officially official in the NHL. The Coyotes are definitely moving to Salt Lake City, putting an end to the Arizona Coyotes. The NHL Board of Governors approved Utah getting a new franchise that'll begin to play in the 24-25 season, and the team will now ditch the Coyote name. Now, 5 applications were sent to a U.S. Patent and Trademark Office for the new Utah franchise. Here are the names that
Okay.
they're throwing out there.
Let me hear it.
Blizzard,
I kind of like it.
right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, strong
Venom,
start. Okay.
Fury,
Okay.
HC, and Utah Hockey. Yeah. Like somebody just dropped the boat there, right? Or dropped the ball. Hockey Club?
I guess. Oh, yeah,
The
yeah.
Utah HC?
How about the Magic Underwear?
Okay.
How about the sheep
I'm
with
sure
holes?
they would have so many fans
The
with
Mormon
that.
dance belts.
Yeah,
How about
right?
the Salt Lake Soakers?
There was a name that
We were talking about that all last night at work. Salt Lake
what you
Soakers.
were?
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
you know, I got to tell you, I'm kind of a booze historian. I love alcohol history. It's
Yeah,
fascinating
yeah.
to me.
Okay.
And at one point, there were more distilleries in Utah, in Salt Lake City, than anywhere in the United
No
States.
way.
That
Yep.
actually makes sense because westward expansion. I'm
Yep.
sure that was like one of like the stopovers with those 1-horse towns where people were like, if we're going to supply the West with booze,
Yeah.
we need to have like a distilling location.
Yep. And even though the Mormons said, like, oh, you can't drink this, well, you can't drink it if it's over 35%. Then we just call it Valley Tan. So it's okay if you can drink Valley Tan.
Wow. Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
But there was
So,
37 Mormon-owned distilleries in Salt Lake City at one point.
no way.
Hmm.
You know what's lame about Utah though? The Jay Kennedy could never be a bartender there because they measure every shot. It's like regulated by the state where you have a capper on the liquor bottles that measures an exact shot and you can't put more than one in a cocktail.
Yep.
No.
Well,
And they make
I
the
mean,
bartenders,
you
they're behind
can't
a
if somebody's
curtain. Like, it's the
watching.
weirdest thing.
Do they really? They go
Yeah.
behind a curtain to
Yeah,
mix the drinks?
exactly. It's basically like going to the red light district, but with no benefits.
I absolutely. Well, that's a good point. That's a really good point. You're gonna have to mix the cocktail yourself when you get home.
Yeah. It's just a bunch of ingredients
In the closet.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Like Papa Murphy's Pizza.
You
Yeah.
want a Manhattan? We're sending you home with the vermouth.
Yeah. Yep.
Man,
Oh,
there was a
man.
name that was left off of that list, though, in the patent office, which I kind of liked, was the Utah Yeti.
The Utah Yeti would work.
I mean, but it reminds me of this.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
they have, like,
but
the
dude, tie
travel
them in as
mug.
a sponsor.
Yeah.
Yeti
You know what?
coolers, Yeti tumblers.
That actually sounds like a really cool professional wrestler, the Utah Yeti. I think,
Oh,
Jay, maybe this
wow.
would be your pro wrestling hat.
So we got a Manhattan
Mhm.
staring us down right now.
All right.
Yeah,
This
smells
one,
good, looks good.
No measurements needed. by
No,
the way.
no,
Absolutely
These are
not.
precise. Come on.
Wow. Look at you, Jay. You get to keep your
Oh,
job.
arigato, Jay.
Wow.
Yeah.
So good.
Holy smokes.
And see, here's the interesting thing about Japanese whiskey. You know, a lot of people think it's really light because a lot of them are actually made with rice, which makes sense. It's the largest crop. but
Right.
it's such a delicate whiskey. You would only want to make a highball with it. But if you want to make whiskey cocktails,
Yeah.
you got to use something like Cayo. Because
Yeah.
you really get that robust whiskey forward flavor.
Well, and like that idea of like aging it similar to bourbon and all that, you pick up
Yeah.
all that
Guile.
those interesting tastes from the wood, and
Yep.
I mean I'm into this. I remember having I don't know, a Japanese whiskey years ago for the first time and thinking I was gonna hate it. I liked it,
Mhm.
and so this is the best I've had. Cayo, this is good
Thank
stuff.
You know, I
Yeah.
dig. We talk a lot about the labels, about the bottles, and looking at the label here with the Japanese writing on the label. It's another
Yeah.
one of those conversation starters when you put it up on the shelf with the.
It makes
whiskey.
you look way cooler than you
It's-
actually
oh
are.
yeah, without a doubt.
Like,
Which
look at
is
me,
why
I'm in
I'm
the know.
purchasing it from Kagan Bottle,
That's
KaganBottle.com,
right.
or 10 locations all throughout San Diego County.
Speaking of one of those locations,
Yep.
that's where I met this man.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. So Tony Conch and I have known each other for a very long time.
Okay,
We've owned a business together. I managed a Kegan. I actually managed K&B. I was the first employee at K&B.
I
No
can't be
way.
Bistro.
Yes, sir.
I was June 28th, 5 p.m. June 28th, 2008. We took over the store.
Oh my
Just
gosh.
me and him. Me
So
and
I knew-
him.
I knew June in 2008. That's impressive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is.
Yeah,
I
I got
mean-
there before you did. I drove straight from my bartending job, and I was like, "What the hell am
I
I
don't
getting
know.
into, man?
Are
This is
you
the
guys-
weirdest thing."
Jay, are you feeling like we're seeing a love story right now?
Yeah,
Like,
right.
It's been blossoming for a long time.
But how I ended up there, and I'll let him tell this part of the story, is even funnier.
Okay,
What's
well,
up? Well, how'd you end
so,
up there?
So he mentioned he was a bartender. He'd come into Keg and Bottles, stumbling into Keg and Bottle, and
But with a mob, like a huge group of people.
huge group of people, and then they're all trying to buy stuff. No, you can't buy that. You got to buy this. He's like the authority in the group. Like, no, we can't have that. And he's buying everything, and he even gets a little sophisticated and buys some wine and stuff. I'm like, this guy knows his shit for a college kid.
Yeah.
You know, he knows his stuff. And so,
Well, thank you, Tony.
and then I'm like, hey, I'm opening a place down the street. What are you doing?
And I'm hammered when he says this.
This is like 1:47 a.m. because we're open until 2 o'clock
Perfect.
in the morning.
And I had to work a brunch shift the next day.
Yeah.
Oh, good. That's
Yes.
I'm like, what do you-
always the best time
Yes.
to buy all the liquor.
Right.
Well, the problem was we bought this place in K&B, it was a random liquor store at the time, but I didn't think forward. Hey, who's going to work this place? What are we going to do with it?
Yeah.
And then run into Adam, and I'm like, dude, come on, let's go. And
So
Here it is.
Employee number one.
Yep.
This is over at the Del Cerro location.
Yep.
So literally the first restaurant I ever ate at in San Diego was K&B Bistro.
No way.
Yeah. So when I moved,
I hope they didn't give you food poisoning.
no, it was
Okay.
one of the best experiences because you know how like when you move in a place, we rented a house up the hill from right up College Avenue from there.
Okay.
And I didn't know anything about San Diego. I'd signed
Sure.
with the Chargers like weeks earlier, and Ann was actually overseas in China working. And so I'm like, hey, I got us a place. She was like, what? And so I'm sending
Nice.
her pictures. And then I went by myself down the hill, went to the parking lot next to the grocery store. And was like, and it turns out there's a great restaurant next door.
Yeah, it's-
Little did I know, years later, I'd be on the
Yep.
radio talking to Tony Concha. So very small world. Awesome that you guys met because this is easily one of the better whiskeys I think altogether I've had, but certainly
Oh,
one
I'm
of the
sure you
best
say that's
whiskeys
all
we've
you
had
got.
since.
you know
is
what
good
this
stuff.
one is like the most well-rounded.
Yeah,
like
thanks.
this one you can crack open at any time. You can
Yeah.
pour it neat. I can make a drink with it, and it's impressive. Like you
Thanks.
have people coming over, and you're impressing.
Oh,
Yeah.
whiskey. I guess we'll have
here
some.
we go. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
passing
no
it, yeah.
problem. Yeah, what are we moving
Ooh,
on
wow.
to here?
Yeah. So
Is that the white
the,
label.
yeah. So this is the 7-year,
Okay.
the single.
This
So
one's
there's
got a little bit of a sweeter nose to me.
Yeah, so there's so many interesting things to say about Cayo. I have no idea how we're going to fit it all in, but the good thing is we're going to get drunk and we're still going to have a good time.
Yeah. Yes.
But this is the first product that we made that's not 100% aged in Japanese oak. This is actually a blend of aging in Japanese oak, bourbon barrels, and Tennessee whiskey barrels. So we finish in a little bit of Tennessee whiskey just to give it that kind of piquant, kind of sour note.
Yeah.
We made this one specifically thinking we wanted a whiskey that people could make a lot of whiskey cocktails with. Which is why we also aged it in the bourbon barrel, because we wanted to give it a little more punch, a little more fruit. So to your point, you get a little some of those sweeter notes, apricot,
Mhm,
honey.
mhm.
But the irony is this is actually our youngest whiskey. This is a 7-year-old whiskey.
Wow.
But we kind of do that as an inside joke
Oh,
because it's kind of our way of saying, look, this is actually our most affordable product.
Yeah.
This is our way of saying, look, Japanese whiskey doesn't need to be old or expensive to be delicious.
Yeah, that's really good.
That's really
Yeah,
good.
thanks, man.
Wait,
Dude,
this is
rad.
the least expensive product. That's
That's
what you said?
Yeah.
$59.99.
Yep.
Dude.
Yeah, it's
Only-
for a 7-year-old Japanese
But
whiskey.
again, only if they mention the show. Regular price on this stuff is $74.
Okay.
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 Yeah, Adam and I said, what kind of offer can we do for you guys? So $59.99 for $60, guys. I don't think there's another Japanese whiskey, especially not 7-year-old, that you can get
No.
your hands on.
Yeah, everything's going to
that
be like 3
tastes
years
like
old.
this, guys.
This is
That's
cool.
incredible.
Yeah. So, and
Yeah,
also, I
thanks.
love what you've done making the labels different colors because it makes it easy for an idiot like me to select the one. I
Right,
like.
Yeah,
right.
right. When
You
you're
know what I mean?
when you stumble into keg and bottle 147 in the morning, you can be like, I want the white one.
Ooh, on the white label, that
But
one's-
so
that
we-
was $69.99.
Yeah.
You catch my drift? Wink.
So-
I walk in, I stumble into cake and bottle, and I say, I want the white one. And then Jay walks over.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why would I take a lap? I mean, you might
Look at
honestly,
Jay.
Take a lap.
I mean,
Yeah.
he's handsome. By the way,
Take a lap.
Jay might have been losing a little weight because I'll tell you right now, he is fitting into that Hogan shirt, looking good, looking
Golly.
slim,
Not
looking
very many
swole.
Hogan
Oh my
Really
goodness.
Tell you what,
Man.
we don't need to get him on the weight loss plan that we were on. It was stfatloss.com that got us all back into shape. And I do mean back into shape. So
Yeah.
Fletch was home from a Mexican vacation. And we put him on a scale in studio the day he got home. We surprised him with this little bit we did on air. And he was almost 280 pounds. Fletch, how much do you weigh now?
241.
241
Wow.
pounds.
And not a tapeworm. It was
Wow.
sdfatloss.com.
Yeah, yeah.
SDFatLoss.com.
And then what
Listen.
about so TD? I'm like, you're next, bub.
Yeah.
He's making fun of. So then TD gets on the scale. What'd you weigh?
I weigh, what was I, with 287,
285.
285? Yeah, I mean, good.
Fat ass.
God, yeah.
Wow.
He was super
Thanks.
fat. He's super
Thanks.
fat, and now he's lost 31 pounds since.
Dude, and keeping it off.
yeah, it's pretty
It's
incredible.
crazy.
But don't keep going, man. Everybody needs a funny fact.
I
Yeah.
also hopped on the scale at almost my old playing weight at 303 pounds. That was an embarrassing moment. But you know what? We were all super fat and we're now super not fat. And
Mhm.
thanks to stfatloss.com, it really works. It's a natural way to lose weight. You hear about a lot of these prescription drug diets where you take injections, you lose all the weight, you gain it back. Or, you're counting points, you're counting meals, you're getting weird protein shakes shipped to your house, and that's all you can drink. You're going to get it all back. It's called yo-yo
Wow.
dieting.
Yeah, stay away from that.
Yep.
Yeah, don't want
Yeah.
it. Bad for your heart. So with stfatloss.com, what we've found is Wayne and Chloe to be the best shepherds, I guess you could call them, because we really needed to be rounded up and told what to do.
I see what you did there.
Yeah.
Mhm. You're damn right.
Rounded
Yeah. Yeah.
They were great. They were great. And if you mention Big Rich TD Fletch, you save $200 on your subscription. So why wait? Do it right now. SDFatLoss.com. We got 2 ticket giveaways and more whiskey to taste coming up next. A Bar Car Friday on Big Rich TD and Fletch, brought to you by Keg and Bottle.
This update is presented by Fertilome's Houseplant Hero line. NBA play-in tournament finishes up today with a pair of games in the East. The Bulls are going to be taking on the Heat for the 8 seed. Jimmy Butler missing the game tonight for the Heat. In the West, Kings taking on the Pelicans. Zion Williamson out of that one as well. Padres with the day off yesterday. They're back at it today. Matt Waldron on the mound. Blue Jays coming to town for a 3-game series. And if you're looking for a spot to hang out today, watch all those sports. Head on down to the Naughty Barrel in the Gas Lamp. Darren Smith is there noon to 3 with Marty Caswell. John and Jim there from 3 to 6. Be the hero and make mightier houseplants with Fertilome's new Houseplant Hero line. Choose from all-purpose succulent and cactus, orchid, or African violet plant foods. American-made products available only at your favorite independent nursery or garden center.
African violet, Mama Dale's favorite plant.
Take a lap.
What?
Thank God it's Friday! It's been a long week and the fellas are thirsty.
Scott. Here it goes down into my belly.
It's time to cruise into the weekend. Big Rich, TD, and Fletch present Bar Card Friday. Brought to you by Keg and Bottle, with the best selection of bourbon, whiskey, tequila, private section bottles, and more.
My problem is I drink too much, way too much. I got my doctor a urine specimen. There was an olive in it.
Now, let's pour some drinks.
The Aztec Fast Showcase is coming up tomorrow out at Snapdragon Stadium. Your first look at Sean Lewis's new offense, Aztec Fast. It's the spring game. It's more of an open practice. You can win $10,000 if you kick the field goal. There's going to be the first 1,000 fans to enter the stadium and make their way to the South Concourse are getting a free Aztec football replica jersey. I'm going to be there. John's going to be there. Jim's going to be there. And come hang out with us. We'll be broadcasting from 11 to 1. The event actually begins at 1 o'clock. And like I said, your chance to kick a field goal for $1,000.
Am I allowed to enter
You know
for
what?
$10,000?
Maybe.
If
Probably
I won
not.
$10,000, I would immediately buy 10,000 scratchers. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, right. Yeah, I mean, because you want to obviously double that.
Yeah, I'm going to
I mean,
Vegas
you
in
gotta make an
August.
Yeah.
So just
Right,
give
right,
me
right.
the 10 grand. I'll put it all in black.
Well, but I mean, wouldn't it be more fun if you were like, I need 10,000 of the number 3s at 7-Eleven?
Yeah.
Yeah, 10,000 scratchers.
But there's like
Yep.
no dollar scratchers left anymore.
Yeah,
it's the craziest thing, man.
Yeah, they want
What
you
a
to drop
disappointment.
$2, $3, $5 on a scratcher. That voice you hear right there, Adam Parker, a manager over at LHK Spirits. We're drinking some Kayo whiskey from Japan today on a Bar Card Friday. Yeah, brought to you by Keg and Bottle. 10 locations all throughout San Diego County. You want to pick up some of this Kayo whiskey that we're sampling today? Stop by any location. Pick one up, mention Big Rich, TD, and Fletch, and get a little discount on whatever bottle you buy.
Have we talked about the La Jolla location yet today?
No.
Because I
we
think I'm going to
have
swing by there
not.
later today with Kendall, and we're going to have some wine.
You're going to do the wine bar?
I think so.
Dude, maybe Sarah and I should swing by tonight.
And that's literally up the hill from you, big guy. So,
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe
I
you
pass
should.
by it all the time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
big
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm telling you right now, I've been tempted because I drive by there a lot on my own, on my way to school pickup. I'm like, I wonder if the wine bar's open around, I don't know, like at 2:30 in the afternoon.
Tony, what are
friend
some
would
of
do
the
it.
what are some of the bottles you're pouring up over there?
So pretty much anything. Now it's not a full spirits bar, so it's beer and wine only. But the cool part is there's 16 beers on draft. So while you're shopping, right?
Nice.
You can grab yourself a little something as long as you're have the forethought like Adam who Ubered here. And so yeah,
Ooh.
so
good call.
definitely a good way to go.
We
And,
all
it's
all
good stuff.
scootered here.
Yeah.
Like Fletch.
I saw him. It happened.
We're all jealous. We're jealous of Fletch because he gets like we're so tired of walking.
Wait, do you have a
everywhere.
handicap placard?
It's in the mail.
Oh
It's
man,
coming.
so
Oh,
jelly.
you're a genius.
Yeah.
It's a temporary one. It lasts till I'm off the scooter, which apparently I'm still on this thing for 4 more freaking weeks, which sucks.
Well, it's almost, I thought it was 4 weeks at the start of this week.
No, well, yeah, since Monday.
Okay, so you're almost at 3 weeks.
Dude, you
You're
crushed
gonna
God,
be okay,
glass
dude.
half
Look at
empty,
you.
dude.
I
Yeah.
feel like he's moving quicker
Slacker.
down the hallways.
Oh,
you know?
he's
I was-
so
I was
good at
coming
it.
in, he goes,
Yeah, he'll like drift around corners.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
pretty
He also
impressive.
does tricks. He does tail whip.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're gonna put pegs on it so
Yeah,
that we can
yeah.
ride on it too.
So he's gonna be pegging.
That's right. That's right. Actually, it's a big part of the show now.
Not again.
Yes.
All
Oh
right.
my goodness.
I did not know what I was getting into, but
man,
all right. I'm
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, that's what happens when you come on the show here.
yeah,
Yeah.
got it.
We did a little field trip in between breaks here.
Yeah.
And we were in another studio, and both Rich and I were spinning in chairs. And I don't know about you, Rich, but whoo-wee.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
doesn't help.
that really accelerated the
That-
Kayo whiskey.
That threw off.
Well,
the
we're about to
equilibrium.
accelerate a little bit more.
Okay, good. Good,
Excellent.
good.
Yeah. What,
Yeah.
what are we about to experience
Oh,
here, bud?
man.
Tony Condon, what'd you just give me?
I gave you number 3.
Okay, number 3.
So number 3 is this.
Is the
bad
red label.
boy right
Is
here,
the
red
unicorn.
label, the
Oh, the unicorn.
Tell us why it's a
Yeah.
unicorn, Adam Parker.
So this is the rarest whiskey we've ever produced. There are some things I can tell you about this whiskey and some things I can't.
Ooh, he told me, but he told me I couldn't say.
Yeah.
Was I
well,
supposed to sample this already? Because I did.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
You know what? T, the best part of tasting is retasting.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. I've always said that. I've always said
right.
that.
You're a
Adam.
smart dude.
That's a show,
Yeah,
Bob.
yeah. No one's ever said I'm a
So-
smart dude.
It's you know, man, I'll be here all day.
Adam, can we be friends?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Wait do you see what happens after the 4th whiskey?
I love you. Yeah.
You know what? I hear that a lot after I start giving people Kayo.
Yeah, this is pretty good.
So this is the unicorn. The fact that no one ever called a whiskey the unicorn prior to this was baffling to us. But you know, if this whiskey sucked, right, it would still be sold out because it's a 10-year-old Japanese whiskey with a friggin' gold unicorn on the label. All right, even
Wow.
if this was garbage,
Yeah.
it would be sold out. Instead, it happens to be exceptional.
Yeah.
And we don't just think that. Whiskey Advocate thinks that. So they did a specific post about this whiskey because we invented a whole new way of reusing a bourbon barrel for this whiskey.
Yeah.
So the backstory is a while ago, a very famous, very rare bourbon producer came to us saying, "We want to buy your barrels," and we said, "F you! Like we have no
Mhm.
dog in this fight.
Right.
We want to trade." And they tried to go barrel for barrel for us, and we said, "Look, you're on crack, homie. Like here, you might be rare, but our barrels cost 10 times what yours did." So instead, we got really old barrels. So this is aged for 5 years in Japanese oak, and then 5 years in 10 to 23-year-old Kentucky bourbon barrels.
Whoa.
Wow.
Can
That's
you say what distiller
No,
you got?
can't say
No,
anything.
okay,
No,
okay.
wow.
He's actually
Can't say
giving you
anything.
more hints than I thought.
No,
Wow.
there's a lot of
Wait,
different
there's
whiskeys
hints
that it
in
could
that?
be, but at the end of the day, like right, you know, it's aged in a Kentucky bourbon barrel, but it
EB.
doesn't really matter who it's from.
EB, take a swig.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Right
take
from
a-
Yeah,
come on,
but
right
it,
from
but
the
it has to
bottle,
be from the
EB.
barrel.
That a girl.
Hang on.
Yeah,
hang
I
on.
just met you. I don't know you, but you have to drink it out.
She's the fourth foot to the show.
Yeah, that's
Aaron
it.
Bauman. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
great.
Wait,
Hi, we should be friends.
yeah. She only handles accounts over $700 million.
It's a
pretty
whiskey
crazy.
called the
Called the
Unicorn.
Unicorn.
Yeah, exactly. Here it is. Here it is.
Yep, only 500 cases made for the
Yeah.
whole world.
Yeah.
Tasty.
Yeah.
You just go straight from the
Yeah.
bottle. Well, we
Good.
put real unicorn in there, so that's why it tastes
Taste
like
it. It tastes like rainbows.
yeah, there you go.
I can't believe it, guy.
Pretty good.
But Adam, you captured the taste of glitter.
How
Yeah,
did you do it? You bottled it.
yeah, we nailed it.
Oh,
So,
man.
but what's really unique about this whiskey is we actually invented a new way of recharring a barrel that had never been done before. So when we got these rare bourbon barrels, right,
Yeah.
we made sure there was about 5 liters of cask strength whiskey in the barrel.
All right.
Because when you get a used bourbon barrel, you scrape it
Mm-hmm.
and then you rechar it. But then, like, it doesn't matter where it's from. It could have been, you know, Evan Williams, or it could have been Michter's. Who knows?
Right, right, right.
But you're losing all that flavor when you scrape it. We did it. We left all that char in there. We left all that liquid in there, and then we set the barrel on fire.
Of course. Of course.
Dude, hey,
And-
did I mention I own, and so do TD and Fletch as well, flamethrowers.
It's in my
Right.
truck.
Oh,
Right,
great.
yeah.
So he's
Wait,
got
So
one
we
with
can make
him.
a unicorn.
Yeah. Well, what I'm trying to say is, if you got a barrel, we got the time.
I get barrels every week. Every time
Yeah,
we do a
I'm sure
barrel
Tony
pick.
Conja has one in the back of his car.
Literally, I got one yesterday. No kidding. Because when
Do
we
you want
buy
to set it on fire today?
when we buy a barrel bourbon, you know,
Yeah.
when you buy 25 cases, they go, "Thank you very much for spending 20 grand with us."
Yeah.
Here's the barrel it was in.
Okay.
No
so,
way.
Tony.
Yeah, yeah, it's weird. I got
all-
space for a barrel.
All we need is Japanese distillate, or whatever, and then
Did
by
you
the
hear
way-
him? He said done.
Yeah,
Done.
Yeah,
Turns
he's
out-
got a flamethrower. We're
He's
set.
got a flamethrower. I
So-
got the barrel. I
and
think
guess
this
what?
is a little marriage made in
Golly.
San Diego.
Yeah.
I've got a backyard in Pacific
This is how we
Beach.
started
But we
K&B,
can't
by
call
the
it the
way.
unicorn
My-
anymore. It's
my-
trademarked.
My wife often gets mad at me for how I use the backyard anyways.
Right.
So let's just add another one to the list.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you. This will be a new one.
Yeah.
A new one added to the list.
Oh my
We got John Fink in studio tasting some of the Kayo whiskey.
John.
Kim, EB,
Also,
thanks
sweet
for joining
Star
us.
Wars shirt.
Yeah. Yeah.
Stay on target.
Stay
Yeah.
on target.
Yeah.
That's right. R.I.P. Porkins.
What?
All right, listen.
Wow.
We've got
Wow.
much more Bar Car Friday coming up in just a minute. We also have 2 ticket giveaways. We should probably do one right now. What do you think? 877-767-4760.
Yeah, that's cool. You remember
That's-
that and didn't have to look at that.
That's
Yeah, you forgot it started with an 8.
Oh, it's right there. 877
What did I say?
Popism
You said
0.
7.
Damn it.
You said 777?
Yeah.
Wait,
Son
can
of
I
a
win these?
Wait.
Or because I'm on the air, I'm
No,
excluded?
Adam,
Well, no, I don't think you're an
well,
employee.
Technically.
Yeah,
your
technically
cell
you're
phone out.
good. Yeah.
Guess what? It doesn't work in here.
All right,
Right.
let me think.
No,
okay, what are we
it's
giving
going
away
to be
right
weird.
now?
If, it's
You
going
want
to
to
be
do
weird if I win
Wonderfront or
them.
do you want to do Rodeo?
Let's do Wonderfront.
Okay, Wonderfront.
Day 3 Wonderfront. We got tickets for you to go see Beck at Wonderfront Music and Arts Festival. All you got to do is call 877-SORG-760. That's spelled with an S and a G.
Mhm,
Yeah, we spent a lot of time picking this number. We love it.
Yeah.
Wait, Beck is still alive?
Whoa.
Now-
Still alive.
And he's still a loser, baby.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Aw.
It's 2 turntables and a
So why don't you
microphone.
kill me?
Mm.
Right.
Okay.
877 Popism 0 if you want to go bottom of the barrel. And more Bar Card Friday
Yeah.
coming up. No, wait. No,
Oh, yeah,
more Bar Card
yeah.
Friday coming up next. But also, I want to talk about something.
No, I want to talk to you about your feet.
Feet. Yeah.
Yeah, you get it.
Yeah.
How would you describe your feet? Are they okay feet?
Listen, I mean, yeah. That's right. My feet.
Come a long way.
So my feet used to be real bad.
Yeah.
And then I went and got some arch supports. All right. Now, all of a sudden, my life has changed.
Yeah, they're good.
They're
In
okay.
fact, you would say they're good feet, and your feet could be good too if you go to the Good Feet store. Many locations around the U.S. and overseas, 200 plus, as a matter of fact. They've been doing this for 30 plus years. Look,
Wow.
guys, if you want to buy local, buy Good Feet store
Mhm.
because they have a manufacturing plant right here in Carlsbad.
What kind of plant?
It's a manufacturing plant.
That's what I thought you said.
Yeah, it's it's a really good thing. Here's the deal. If you want to support your local San Diegans,
Do you want to support your feet?
you want to support the rest of your body,
Yeah.
you got to go to the Good Feet store. So check it out. I had low back pain, knee pain, hip pain. I was struggling after my NFL career. Went to the Good Feet store. I was a skeptic. I was like, there's no way this is going to work for me, but I slide these into my shoes every single morning. In fact, I leave them most of the times in the footwear I plan on wearing the day after. And you walk around and the pain just fades away. That's how it was for me. I hope it for you. All you got to do is go down there to a Good Feet store location nearest you. Try before you buy experience, free fitting. It's incredible. They are specialists and these are specialized to your needs. So check them out at goodfeet.com. That's goodfeet.com. It is a Bar Card Friday brought to you by Keg and Bottle. 10 locations around San Diego, and Bottom of the Barrel coming up next. Big Rich, TD and Fletch on a Bar Card Friday. We are absolutely doing it today. We're joined by LHK Spirits. Adam Parker joined us. And we are sampling Kaya whiskey all morning long. And I do mean all morning long.
Really,
I think you can tell. This is fantastic. We just tried the 10-year Unicorn, which is not only aged in Japanese oak, but also bourbon barrels of a certain age.
Right.
We're not going to divulge any more than that.
Nope.
This is absolutely incredible.
And then they light those barrels on fire.
Yeah. They found a brand new way to char barrels.
Yeah.
So you just let it burn until the whiskey dissipates?
Yeah. So we, usually you would rechar a barrel for like a minute. We actually let everything burn off for about 3 minutes. We essentially made a bourbon reduction inside the barrel of the oak of the barrel itself. Then we put a Japanese whiskey inside and aged it for 5 months.
Makes perfect
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah,
You guys,
it's crazy.
You're
Yep.
madmen.
Yep.
This is incredible.
Nobody lost their eyebrows in the process. I promise.
Yeah.
Yeah, we haven't done it.
Yeah. We're going to make some backyard whiskey with Adam coming up here in the coming months. But in the
Yeah.
meantime, we're going to sample the
Don't
last
threaten me
of
with
the
a good time.
offerings.
Wait, were you handed a new one? Was I handed a new one?
Yeah, well, that's
Wait.
the good thing about Kaya. We keep coming out with a whiskey, so you got to know whiskey.
I don't know if I was
So
handed
this
one,
is
but
we're gonna take a step back. We had a 10-year whiskey, and now we're having an 8-year whiskey.
Okay.
So this is Kaya the Ramu. Ramu means rum in Japanese
Okay.
because this is partly aged in rum casks, but this is not going to be like any other rum finished whiskey you've ever had. Because we didn't use one of the stickier, sweeter rums that you can get from the Caribbean.
Yeah.
This is actually a rum agricole finished whiskey.
Ooh, that's nice.
So rum agricole, that might be a new term for a lot of people, but rum agricole is no sugar added, fresh pressed cane juice rum. So it's generally like kind of funky and kind of grassy.
Yeah.
So this is going to be like that. Is a great contrast with the notes you get from the Mizunara, the Japanese oak.
This is
Oh, that's
really good stuff.
really
Yeah,
good.
this actually just got 92 points from Whiskey Advocate.
Wow.
You guys are crushing it.
Yeah.
So everything we sampled, the Kaya whiskey, from the 7-year to the 8-year to the Unicorn, back to this, what's it, Ramu 8-year?
The Ramu. Yeah.
Ramu 8-year. It's absolutely phenomenal. All of them are going to be priced lower over at kegandbottle.com or Keg and Bottle, the 10 locations.
You're
around
right.
San
That's
Tony.
right.
You're right there, Tony.
Man, I'll tell you what, Tony arrives with purpose.
Yeah.
Give her this.
What are you selling the Ramu for over at Keg and Bottle?
So it's $20 off right now. Regular price was.
Should be about 70, 89, 99.
Yeah,
Wow.
right
Are
in
you kidding me?
Okay. So
Yeah.
$20 off. You mentioned the show, Big Rich, TD, and Fletch over at any of the 10 locations around San Diego. We got Jay Kennedy in studio.
He's making a very special drink next, so I'm excited
Yeah.
about that.
So,
Well, now that there's 30 people in here, all of a sudden.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's
yes,
weird.
yeah.
People keep. I don't know if
Right.
anybody can see this, but people keep showing up in the room. Like,
Yeah.
I would love to
Should.
think it's my
Kathy,
mellifluous
Kim,
voice,
Jim,
It is.
but I think it's the booze.
TV, John Fink. We've got a full. And then, by the way, David is watching Jay Kennedy with admiration Ryan, another one of the support crew from KMB Bistro.
Yep.
Just like, I mean, look, we put Jay through the paces here, David. You got to learn on the fly, man.
I think he's actually the longest tenured employee that's ever worked there.
Yeah.
That's
At
correct.
KMB, yeah.
That is correct.
Yep.
Wow,
yep, yep.
really?
He is there.
Yep.
Look at you, Jay.
So what we're doing right now, this is just a treat. This is just a dessert. Hopefully I didn't piss anybody off too bad because I'd love to come back and do a whole cognac day.
Oh my god!
Because my master blender is also the master blender for Kelt Cognac. And another thing I want to say about my company that's really unique, it's so rare in the alcohol world where the master blender is still the owner.
Oh,
And
gotcha.
we're one of the few companies, not just whiskey, but in the world, where the person who's making the stuff is the person who owns it.
Yeah.
So he has complete creative control over everything. And we
Here
were
we go.
smashing these at a restaurant called Mr. T together.
Lee.
And I said, yeah, it's funny, no relation to Mr. T himself, but
Yeah, that's unfortunate. because
but this
I'm
is
huge
this is a
Mr. T fan.
margarita made with a 40-year-old cognac.
Oh my
Wow.
So
my
this is Kelt
gosh.
XO.
So I want you guys to know how rare that
It's
is.
very
A
typical.
40-year-old
40-year-old cognac.
But what's
Okay.
also really unique about Kelt, and this is the teaser for the next time I show up, is we're the only cognac house that doesn't add any sugar.
This is so good.
This
Wow.
is so
Yeah.
good.
Well done,
Oh
Jay.
my
No,
god!
Look at you, Jay.
I-
Premium
I-
ingredients.
I make these all the time. So.
Well, he's taking a selfie with it. Well, he's trying to.
Take
Oh man, isn't that slutty? That is
This
that's
is
just wrong. Everything about that.
phenomenal. Are we allowed
Yeah.
to know the ingredients to this, Jay?
You know, I made do with what I had here today, so I just did fresh limes, agave to sweeten it up a little bit, sprinkled in a little bit of salt, and that's that cognac.
Nice,
Oh,
nice.
no.
You got great
Salt to
ingredients.
make
That's
it
all that
pop.
matters. Yeah,
And
you know,
he poured a little Grand Marnier in
I
there.
cook a lot, and nobody adds enough salt to anything. And really, salt can
Ooh.
even in your cocktails, salt can really put so much life into a drink.
All right.
Wow.
But the 40-year-old cognac doesn't hurt.
no, yeah, no doubt.
Last words
Well
on
done.
Kayo. What would you say is the elevator pitch if you had 20 seconds to sell to somebody the reason why they should walk into a keg and bottle and get themselves a bottle?
You
of
know what's
Kayo
funny
today?
is I left out one of the most interesting things about it is Kayo means ocean in Japanese because the spirit is actually partially matured on the ocean.
Wow.
Where
Wow.
when we put it on a shipping container, that helps the maturation process.
Interesting.
Every spirit used to be ocean matured, but that's not a new practice because now everything is shipped in bottles, but we ship everything in barrel. So it enhances the aging process, but really it's the ocean maturation, the use of Japanese oak, and frankly, our master blender, Jeffrey Carlin.
That's awesome.
He's one of
And
the
the
best guys
cool
in the
part
game.
about that is when you mentioned shipping, we can ship it to you if you're not here in San Diego and you're listening to iHeart Nationwide. Ship it right to your door. If you are here in San Diego, you can use Instacart or Amazon and
Beautiful.
ship right to your door.
I've done that before.
Yeah,
How crazy is that?
Been there.
So use those. Let's
Can I
make it
get
happen,
can I
guys.
get one of these Exo Margs Instacarted?
Uh,
Like Jay, can you-
we
Jay.
have the
What?
technology, Jay.
By the way, so to-go drinks are still a thing.
Whoa,
We really don't do them,
now
but
we're talking.
during the whole pandemic,
Yeah.
we were able to legally make you a cocktail as long as we put a little sticker over the straw.
Right,
We
that's
handed
it,
you the
right,
straw
right,
so you
right,
could
right,
right.
enjoy it at home.
Go
Right, for
on.
safety.
You could take a margarita to go.
Or just do what we do. Go sit down at the bar, belly up at KMB Bistro, talk to Jay Kennedy for a couple hours, annoy
Right.
the crap out of him,
Fall
and
in
make
love.
him make
Right.
you 20 old fashions in a row.
Yes, he
Lex
loves
has
that.
got that down.
Yeah, I'm pretty good at that one. And
Yeah.
every time a friend's in town, I bring them too. Thank you, Adam, for being here today. Really appreciate
Hey, thank you,
it.
Fletch. I can barely understand anything you're saying.
That's
but
good. Jay, you're the man. We
Some
love
of our
having you here.
listeners.
Tony, love you, bro. I'll see you at La Jolla tonight, maybe.
Yes, sir.
All
Yes,
right,
sir.
Rich TD, nice work. Dogs, roadies, hangers,
Oh,
bangers.
we got to
love
give
you.
away rodeo
Oh,
tickets.
one
Lakeside
more.
rodeo tickets.
Yeah, 877-767-4760. Caller number 5 in 2 minutes. That's at 8:56. Caller number 5.
Oh, made it.
Yeah, maybe.
See you Monday.
the herd
Actually, we'll
is
see you in the
next.
afternoon.